Hello and welcome to Low Ink March 2024. Apologies for the delay. Our small streamer had a small issue with daylight saving, so we're a little bit late, but we're gonna get things going here. I'm joined by Time. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Really excited for Lowing today. We're watching Ink Deficiency versus Infinity.
You know, I have to know just a few things about one of these teams. I'm not really sure about Infinity. I've seen them around the block before, but Ink Deficiency is who I'm really interested in. I think you recognize them too.
Well, I think it's because you also might have a bias, because you know
No, I wouldn't.
Ink Deficiency.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, we've got Kip Kazoo, our wonderful juniors draft staff on the team with the Flings the Roller, and I happen to coach some of these. Well, every episode's good. Ploop is, I think, they're usually a backline, but they're gonna be on Wiper today. And Retro is on Shot, Delete 10, and 6 is their pencil, so they've got a pretty standard comp. I don't know anything about Infinity, but I'm sure they've got something to match that.
One thing I do know about Infinity, it was very hard to find the match for a bit there. That being said, we are going to go on our first match on Hagglefish Tower. I actually am a big fan of Hagglefish in general, so...
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's like second Ink Plot TC, it's like the almost final destination. I guess it's like Battlefield and Splatoon. It could be interesting to watch here. I think Kip's pick with the Flings would be pretty nice because missiles and all that is, since like Haggle's so procedural, it's gonna be pretty good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna get right into round one here.
I love the pencil on both sides. Honestly, Cooler's great. Double backline because the Fling's out right on the Deficiency.
Okay, I really like Infinity's comp here. Shooter list is interesting, but that Dreadringer like pumps out so much paint that it can support the Neoshin and the S-Blast, and the pencil, of course. And, like, we're very familiar with it. It's just gonna be such a consistent, asset to the team, pumping out paint and killers. So it's gonna be really nice to see.
Yeah, and the shooterless comp, honestly, like, getting a double with the flank on the S-Blast is crazy. Pushing back that pencil.
Yeah, pretty huge here. They've got their specials already. They're moving on to the first checkpoint. They're getting another pick onto Poop there. So this is pretty good. They're at least gonna clear this first checkpoint, and if Ink Deficiency isn't careful, then it's gonna be a lot bigger than that first check.
Right. Ink Deficiency is popping a lot of specials to stop Infinity, but Infinity is just not letting up. Like, pushing all the way past that second checkpoint, getting themselves nudged into that corner on top right. This Dread's actually going to do huge damage, just like trying to stop them from getting out of spawn.
Yeah, this is really scary here. 3 down, and they're going to be breaking that second checkpoint. Like, second checkpoint here is where games are usually decided, and they're, clearing it in the first minute and 10, which is really huge for Infinity. So
this could be a knockout.
Yeah, Ink Deficiency got it like run here. That might come up huge. Unfortunately, they don't get the pick, and that's going to be game 1 going to Infinity already.
Crazy double, like right at the end. Infinity just sat on that tower. Just 100 to, like 0 to 100 is crazy.
Yeah, really, really good performance by them. I love what they did at the start. They like gave this one tiny little line of paint to S-Blast, and they took that opportunity to move in, and they got some really good picks onto Ink Deficiency, and that like got the whole thing started.
It was direct after checkpoint break, after like just pushing them back top right. All of it's just unfortunate for Ink Deficiency, but Infinity's just did not let up pressure for the entire match.
Yeah, it was just like a masterclass by them. They Ink Deficiency went out to all the right spots to get back in. Like, they took the top left like they should have, and everything like that. Like, they were in the right places. It's just Infinity just managed to win all the fights that they needed to and secured that first game.
Game 2 is going to be on Splat Zone's Mako. Honestly, I think Splat Zone's Mako is probably the Splat Zone's map I see the most knockouts on. Like, every single time it's like I fight a lot of Reef Slider after Reef Slider after Reef Slider in Ranked, in Sendo Queue. Like, once in SOS, I got messed up by Arrow Spray on this map, just constantly flipping the zone. We couldn't get any leverage on it.
Yeah, Mako is one of those like small zones. Like, it's like uniquely shaped, but it is still tiny. So like I think 2 sub special power on that slider. That Dread Ringer is going to come up really big here. The Yoshina's Blaster also be really hard to deal with because all those ledges and such. That being said, Flings I do think is a decent pick here, like especially on zones, those missiles and this like stupid good paint output from the Flings will be super nice for them.
Right, but it does seem like Infinity is able to deal with those missiles. Like the missiles came out on Hagglefish, and they weren't even phased. They were just like, okay, you threw missiles at me, what next?
It's like missiles got to have like a little bit of follow up on them, and unfortunately, there's just like too much pressure for Ink Deficiency to properly get set up. So we'll see if they can make it happen in this one. Squiffer! Hold on. What happened?
Oh my goodness! No longer shooterless, they have an NZAP, but the Squiffer, especially new Squiffer with Zipcaster, is something I was not expecting to see.
That, I mean, I think you're like very excited to see the Squiffer, but that is, you know, surprising to me. I'm excited to see how they can make it happen. Like the ultimate clip weapon, I hope that they get something nice with Zipcaster here.
Right,
early 3 down.
Yeah, early 3 down, wow. Double roller comp isn't going to be, well, it's going to be a little hard to get past that Squiffer with that uphill battle. Lot of paint also on the side of Infinity, meaning that it's going to be even harder for those rollers to just get in. Helping, like dropping into zone, one after another, just getting picked.
For sure, they're going to use specials here and get the, like, they're going to have to use specials to get into the zone instead of just fighting through because they've got so much paint and so much pressure. It's hard for the rollers to contest without like an entry. So Pencil and the Shot are going to have to go very, very hard in paint and just try to like smuggle in the carbon.
Right. Squiffer does pop Zipcaster, gets a pick, goes down. Flingsa tries to get into zone, gets one, and then gets stuffed into the corner.
For sure. We see the V-Shot building up the Zuka here. It's pretty much go for do or die. Like, they gotta go like, right now.
Zuka comes out, they get a pick, they're going down, they're chasing after this Dread on the bottom right, trying to get rid of their main painter on Infinity. Doesn't really work out. Reef comes out, they cap the zone, and that's GG. Infinity takes game 2.
Yeah. Really, really strong showing by Infinity. At the end there, they got the picks they needed. They just couldn't outpaint a single sprinkler on the zone, and you know, it just goes back to Infinity. They can't do anything about the slider.
Right. I'm surprised that it worked out as well as it did, especially with just they just had so much paint output. They weren't like, even when Ink Deficiency got their picks, there wasn't necessarily enough pressure to get them to like lose zone more than a few seconds, let alone just lose cap.
Whenever like, well, I hate to say it, but I think on side of Ink Deficiency they needed to play more for special. They got like they had to move off of like Azuka's a really good tool to deal with them because the 2 rollers would have had like trouble approaching the buckets and the Skiffer. So using the Zukas would have been nice to, you know, move them in, if not just straight up get the whole enemy team.
Also about patience, I feel like, because especially near like the 40s or 30s as the zone was counting down, it would have been really nice to see them, instead of just dropping into zone, like being desperate for picks, like just waiting and having some patience to push in together, because a lot of it was really, they were just really staggered.
Oh, for sure. Infinity was doing a really good job of holding Snipe and the like freezer area. They would have a person stationed down there, and anyone that would drop would just get punished immediately, and that was a really good play on their part. So Ink Deficiency needed to just like slow it down a little bit, build special, regroup, and go in as a team. And yeah, we'll see if that can happen on game 3 here.
Speaking of game 3, it is on Rainmaker Manta. Honestly, Rainmaker Manta from mid, pushing the Rainmaker, it's really fun because you can either choose a very safe option of like pushing in through street with specials, or you could just jump the cut on right and just immediately get that checkpoint. But it's really dangerous because I've seen more than a few people fall off that side of the map.
Well, I'm a victim of the cut myself, so I don't personally recommend going there. It's very risky, and especially with this team that they're going against, Infinity running those buckets and sloshers. What does the same thing? Buckets and blasters, so let's say. It's going to be, you know, hard to push there because all that AoE and fall off is, you know, difficult to push against, especially when you're uphill and with no room to retreat. So Manta's going to be a pretty strong map for Infinity as well.
Right. Well, I mean, Infinity has already won this set technically, but I feel like Ink Deficiency can definitely still make a comeback because Rainmaker, anything can happen.
For sure. Even though they have won the set, play all or Swiss and play all in general. Like any win counts, it builds up that win percentage, and that could be the make or break for bracketing up.
All right. We're seeing a triple shooter on the side of Ink Deficiency, while Squiffer is coming back out on the side of Infinity, along with the Headit, so they're back to being shooterless.
I really do like the Headit pick here. I think that's really good. Like, Headit is a nice, noble, cooler pick, and Splatlands are just so good on Manta. D-Dread is not something I thought I'd be seeing, but I see the vision. Wavebreaker here is... Like, Wavebreaker is usually not considered the greatest special of all time, but on Manta it's really nice to, like, get locations on everyone, and you can see the Squiffer taking advantage of it here.
Speaking of which, Infinity is going to be trying to push through that cut, becoming a victim of just the enemy team being able to anticipate and move forward. It's just the Dread. They're gonna go for that Rainmaker. Gets picked again, so it looks like Ink Deficiency actually has the chance to take back mid, push that Rainmaker maybe to that first checkpoint.
I don't know if you saw that, but someone threw a bomb at the Rainmaker shield while their teammate was on the side of it, and they got launched right off the map.
Oh my god! I didn't notice that. That's actually hilarious.
It turned into a brief 5v3 for a moment. But we see, well, they made it over the cut, which is pretty good, but it's just very hard to push up that, like, uphill checkpoint, right? So, it's, like, when you get a bike, you can push there, but it's just very difficult to sustain. So what Ink Deficiency is doing here is pretty good. They're going down the main street and managed to break that first check. They do go 2 down, which is, like, a pretty big sacrifice for that checkpoint, but, you know, breaking the checkpoint so early in the game is pretty good. It makes, like, you can just run fast, you can just Splatoon 2, and yeah, things get simple.
Yeah, they did have that cooler though, so it's not like a huge drawback. Like you can see, they're already back in mid, like fighting for their bunker, I believe. Sadly, it does look like Infinity is going to get that checkpoint as well.
Oh, they just barely miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like barely missed that checkpoint. Kept on flames here, managed to take down the Rainmaker just in the nick of time. So they save it for now, and they just gotta make sure. Oh, well, I was gonna say make sure they don't stagger, get the picks they need, but there's the picks.
Alright. Squiffer is putting some good pressure on their their bunker, pulling out that Zipcaster, just trying to be a menace, distract the enemy team from their teammates. They do what they set out to do, like Infinity isn't getting pushed out of mid anytime soon.
Sure. Oh, that's unfortunate. They need to hold their bunker here so they can hold this checkpoint, but that Zuka does find a pick onto... I forgot. But that's going to be really hard because bunker is really strong for defense, which means we are going to get this checkpoint, and probably more here because they are 2 down without cooler. So this is a really good opportunity for them to push. So they're going to get big points. If they make that drop, it's going to be huge points.
Oh my god! They make it all the way to 8 on Manta. That is a huge push, like already just dropping down to underneath spawn. Gonna reset the Rainmaker on the side of Ink Deficiency. Rainmaker's going back to mid. The Infinity is only sending 2 of their members back while the other ones are just keeping up that pressure in spawn. It looks like they actually feel like they don't need to push that Rainmaker any further. So they're gonna be just trying to hold that streak. Missiles come out. Zuga comes out. Ink Deficiency is really just trying to push through all their specials. It's literally just the Rainmaker.
Yeah, they make a good play with the Rainmaker there. I understand not taking the Rain now. Like, 8 is a really, really good push on Manta. Like, that is hard to beat. You have to get, like, wipe after wipe to get there. But they, in the last moment, they moved the Rainmaker to a really awkward spot to push out of. Kip is living somehow, getting over the cut and almost into the street of Infinity.
It was really insane. Oh my goodness. Cube is just holding down the main path 2 street with that Headit. Halfway to cooler. Honestly, what they really need to do is just like push that either push that Rainmaker back into mid or just hold it. And honestly, I feel like they're just gonna let it hold because they don't really need to do anything. There's no need to be super aggressive and just lose that lead that they have.
For sure, they don't even need to pick up the Rainmaker. Like, picking it up and stalling, if you take it onto right flat and you hide behind the wall, you can spam those Rainmaker shots, which are surprisingly good. You can put them in the bunker, it makes it very hard for the enemy team to approach. So, like, leaving it there in mid is a really good play. Stalling it in an awkward spot, really good play. Like, right now Infinity has all the cards, and it's up to Ink Deficiency to make a move here.
Alright, and one goes down the side of Ink Infinity. They're just trying to build their specials, trying to hold that mid. Oh my god, Zuka comes out just to try and deal with that slosher. that sloshing. They do get the pick, but there's still 3 up on the side of Infinity. There's not really a lot they can do here unless they get more picks.
That Dreadbringer is on the flank. Usually more supportive weapon, but they're going for a really aggressive play here. That Slosher is super strong in Manta, shooting over those bunker walls and managing to get, I think, what, 2 picks? Really huge for Infinity. Are they running back? They're running it back.
They're running it back with Cooler, I believe. So it means that it's going to be even harder for Ink Deficiency to make a comeback. And as you can see, even though the NZAP rushed for it, there wasn't a lot they could do.
Yeah, you see at the end there's just like one like patch bank, I don't know what that was, but they were just so close to the Rainmaker that could have backfired really hard. Running it back was risky, but it did pay off, and that's going to secure the first set for Infinity 3-0 over Ink Deficiency.
Honestly, really pleasantly surprised. Like, I saw a lot of crazy picks on the side of Infinity, and they really made it work.
Yeah, the Machine and the Dread especially were putting in the work. Like those kills over Bunker and holding Cut were super important for them.
I really also enjoyed just watching that Squiffer like pop their Zipcasters and then the Dread follow up. And then whenever they did pop their Zipcasters, their goal was really just to be annoying, and that's really how you play the weapon. I'm not focusing on the Squiffer because I like Squiffer a lot. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, me too. It's like the ultimate clip weapon, and they almost got a few there, but even if they didn't get the picks, like in Zipcaster, making everyone turn around, because you're such a threat, like in Zipcaster with a one-shot weapon, like you could just get exploded from anywhere without noticing. You have to give them the attention. So you're not supposed to look at them, but you have to look at them, and they were just doing that perfectly, like barely staying in range and, you know, playing like a fly almost.
That is the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So that's going to be it for round 1. Looking at the group here, we're just wrapping up all our matches. I'm just looking through, seeing if there's any interesting upsets. I am interested in oh, I can't find it. I had it on my screen just now. Why don't you help me out?
Whoops. We do get to see, I've actually, on stream right now, we get to see Group A's matches are just about starting to wrap up. Most people have played 2 games, except for 1 match. I'm not going to look at them too hard. Anyway, let's wrap it up for a moment. We'll be back after a short break to see Group B.
Wait, hold on, I found it. I was going to point out Mammoth Meatball. They're usually a high-placing team, and I was looking at their 1-to-1. Yeah, interesting to me. So I do wonder how this will play out. But that is going to be it for round 1. So I think we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back with round 2.
Hey, I said that.
I couldn't tell if you're on or not.
Welcome back to round 2 of Low Ink. We're looking at Group B today. Actually, it's going to be... I'm still joined here by Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
Morning.
Good morning.
Holy roster.
Holy roster, right? Krill Streak and 0-2. Krill Streak has a whopping 8 members on their team. Honestly, looks like more in my brain. Like, whenever I see just that many lines of text, I'm like, wow, that's way more than 8 lines.
Yeah. Krill Streak, if they wanted to, they could just, never let them know your next move, switch up the entire roster. They won't know them.
Yeah, like, everyone leaves the room. like, always keep them on their toes,
Yeah, they could pull out anything, and, it could happen. Krill Streak is a team that's been around since what, early Splatoon 2. You probably know this better than me. I haven't been around very long. They've been in the like before. They've been streamed before. Well, at least I know. I'm not very familiar with 0-2, but Krill Streak is long-time players.
I hate to break it to you, but you know this about me. I took a comp break for the entirety of Splatoon 2, so I literally played Splatoon 1 competitive and then Splatoon 3 competitive.
My fault.
Yeah.
I forgot. I just think that you're like ancient, so I just assume you know everything. Our first step's gonna be Clan Blitz on Inkblot. Any thoughts?
You said last round that Hagglefish Tower was like battlefield for Splatoon. I feel like Inkblot in general is like Final Destination. Like it's really cut and dry what you need to do. Like, oh hey, you should push and protect bats. Like that's like your final line of defense, right? And then you just push through plat, you push through mid. Like it's really very much. I feel like it's a cut and dry map. Like yeah.
I think that's the case for Inkblot, or Tower. Clans is a little bit more like. There's a little bit more nuance. Like it's very difficult to sustain a push here unless you get wipe after wipe. Unlike Tower, where you just like get on the zipline or you just walk up to bats. This one's a little bit more difficult to sustain, so it could be,
To be fair, if you get into bats, it's kind of curtains for
Yeah,
like
for
unless
clans,
you don't have enough clams. Oh my god, Sea
okay. Sea Leader plus ballpoint. No cooler on either team. I lied. That's a zap.
Yeah, they do have Dowser and Glugaz. Honestly, Glugaz, I feel like it's a lot better now than it used to be. Oh my god, speaking of Glugaz, holy Glugaz double!
That is 2 down immediately for the side of Kill Streak. That's 3 down. They're moving on to the plat already, and they have a good amount of clams. They could push right now, and we're only 20 seconds in.
Right, 11 clams. They're just picking off 0-2 as they come out of spawn. Clam barrier is now open. The Dowser is actually still going and getting more clams.
And Leo's going to clear the way for them to duck the clams if they get there in time. It doesn't look like they are, so that's going to be a quick basket break and the end of the first push for Kill Streak. But, to be able to do that in the first 40 seconds is a pretty good showing.
Right? 0-2 gets that wipe. Pushing in, they are a little slow though, so that means their push isn't going to develop that fast. It looks like Krill Streak is actually stopping their members as they're pushing in. 3 up on both sides.
You see that, oh my god. 0-2 is their specials ready. They got that Inkjet and a stamp, so that could be used for an entry at any time. Unfortunately, they do go down by a nice pincer on the side of Kill Streak, so we're gonna have to see this Viper clutch up a little bit and hold down the fort, which they do. They get that Gluga, and it's gonna give them more control mid.
Right. I think, yeah, they have a lot of clams. Like, they almost have a power clam on the side of 0-2. Like, they realized their mistake from the first 20 seconds of the match, so now they're really trying not to let Kill Streak into mid. That being said, like, goes down behind Splash Ball is unfortunate.
I really like what 0-2 just did there. They had the Inkjet getting covered the Viper, and the Viper's like taking pot shots. And that's a crack, and I see a ball on that side. That's gonna be like some quick easy points for the side of Kill Streak.
Here they come! Speaking of which, actually, you can see 0-2's members like starting to go down. Hammer comes out though, gets one. Only the E-leaders left up, like popping their own Kraken. They're like, yeah, you have to leave.
Yeah, Kill Streak's gonna get a few more points here, getting all the way down to 61, which is, not bad. Inkblot, I feel like it's a map where it's really hard to sustain pushes in the sense of any little bit of points is huge. Really.
Right? It's also like, it's really a masterclass in how to push into a disadvantaged situation. Like, you really have to just constantly be getting wipe after wipe if you want to get a push that lasts more than a minute. And that's not really the case for other maps, I mean.
Well, in their cases, they got that Kraken, so wipes don't need them. We have Kraken, we have a ball, that's 4 points, they're just gonna keep going.
2 balls,
they're jumping the ball? Wait.
Oh wait, I thought they had 2 balls, never mind. Oh! Should probably back up though, because 2 of their members just went down in court. That being said, I think one's in... Oh yeah, they're still there, just trying to keep that push alive. In comes another clam. Oh, almost!
Really close there, they almost got another 20 points. That would have been devastating for 0-2. 46, well, pretty big lead for Inkbot. It's not impossible for 0-2 to come back from, especially because they have that C leader, they have a Kraken, they can give them a taste of their own medicine if they do want. That's the roller coming in for the ball, they might get another dunk here. They're going to jump out, which is wise choice, but that could have...
They didn't jump all the way back into spawn, though. They jumped to one of their teammates at mid, which, you know, it's not as bad, and they don't lose a lot of ground from that either. So members of 0-2 are starting to go down. Ball comes out. Ooh, unfortunate kill on the Krakon.
Yeah, I do think that was the beacon. That is the strong part of the Kraken's kit. Like, being able to appear anywhere as a roller and as a Kraken because of those beacons is just super nice. Like, with the amount of fake control that Killstreak's been putting down, like, that roller can go anywhere. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, that was a really good pick. Yeah, getting the double even, because both of those weapons, the Kraken and the Wiper, also had their specials. And in comes their special with their ball jumping in.
That's gonna be more points to the board for Streaker. They're just gonna keep that going, and it, like,
it's just find a response. Fighting for their life right now. Getting the jump out too is crazy.
0-2's really gotta get something going here. They have 3 balls because all the pities, like, they can easily contest the lead right now. Like, they have the Clem's full lead if they just pick up the pity and go, but they need to get in, and I think it's gonna start the leader, because with 20 seconds left, it's gonna be difficult for them to start, like,
leader does have
a full push. Yes. So that Kraken's gonna be a good entry tool. They do pop it, which I do think they are going for the cheese right now. If they manage to get a pick here as the Kraken, that would be really huge.
I think they might have jumped too close though. Like they're not getting it. Unfortunate. Still gets the points in. It's just the 52. 52 gets picked. Unfortunate. And it's also overtime. I don't know. They literally just have to rush it, and yeah, there's no way they're making it.
Yeah, super close. They had the materials, all the resources, like the Kraken, 3 balls. Like, there's a pretty good chance of a comeback there. If they just played all their cards right, that could have been it. But unfortunately for them, Killstreak is going to get that first game with a pretty good lead. Like, it was close, but Killstreak was very convincing.
Killstreak honestly had like a really strong showing. Like, first push within the 20 seconds, and then the only push 0-2 got was in overtime. Like, I'll admit, Clams is like, once you get a push, you know, anything can really happen. Like, you have to have a sustainable push, or you have to jump in like multiple balls, and that's what they did really. But overall, it's just Killstreak just kept pounding on the pressure over and over and over again. Like, it's Kraken jump after 2 down, after putting 2 ball, like another ball in plus a few clams, and then keeping that clam basket open for quite a while. It was really intense, honestly. I'm surprised 0-2 didn't get knocked out and even put up a fight right during overtime.
I think the opening from Killstreak was super strong. Getting 3 down, getting a quick dunk of the basket, super good. I do think for what matters in Clan Blitz is being able to sustain a push, getting lots of points in from a push. So, like, not to discredit Killstreak, I think, like, despite their continuous efforts, not being able to hold at the end fully, like they did, because, like, they managed to hold, but that was risky. Like, they almost got it. So I do think anything can happen. That being said, for Ship-Shaped Tower next year, this is a map that snowballs really easily, and with the fighting power of Killstreak, it might be difficult for 0-2. Like, Killstreak was super strong. Their Glugos and Roller were getting kills, like, back-to-back, and 0-2 was getting, like, no room to breathe, so, you know, this could be dangerous.
It seems a little dangerous. Like, Ship-Shape, like, as you said, it's like a really snowball map. Like, I feel like once you get past, like, that second checkpoint, it's basically wraps. Like, get into that top right corner of the map. It's basically like you have to go through a coordinated effort with all of your specials in order to push them out. And Killstreak has shown, hey, we know how to take advantage of picks. Hey, we know how to use our specials, how to coordinate. Like, even though 0-2 can still put up a fight, it's like, it's really, I have to wonder how well they're able to take advantage of the picks they get, especially when last round they got that wipe and then they didn't like move in. But maybe it's because it was Clan Blitz, and this is going to be Ship-Shaped Tower Control, and Tower Control is a very different game.
For sure, Clan Blitz is like, it's all over the place, very literally. So it's like more difficult to move in with. It's less clear. With Tower, you got the thing, you get on the thing, it moves. Clean cut. right? So maybe this will play more into their favor because it's something that is probably more well rehearsed. Clan Blitz is usually a mode that teams struggle on.
Right. Seeing cooler now on both sides. E-Leader has packed it up because they don't really need that Kraken cheese for this anyway. However, the Kraken roller on Krillstreak is still there. So.
Okay, I'm really interested in Krillstreak's top. I like it. Don't let Roach trigger that. I like the Zinni pick for tower. Double super strong mist for being that top right. I like it. I think it's a good pick here. That being said, the Booyah on the side of 0-2 strikes, the Zuka, it's going to be hard because those specials get just shredded.
Right. Looks like 0-2 is actually getting pushed back a little at the start here, popping that Booyah to clear the tower. Doesn't mean that Killstreak is going to take that sitting down though, as they're just going to keep pushing that tower forward. Building more specials, popping that bubble even to get more pressure on in mid. Even though they're 2 down, they're still like ticking down that tower.
Something got them there. I think it's suction. I'm not too sure myself. But that is the first checkpoint going to Killstreak, which I think is like it's a good thing to get out of the way, but no games on ShipShape are decided with that first checkpoint, so it's really anyone's game. That second checkpoint is going to be what really matters, and every individual point down there is going to make a difference. So. Good lead for Killstreak, but they gotta get a little bit more ground before they can really feel safe here.
Right. Speaking of pushing that tower, 0-2 started pushing that tower, but nobody came along with them. Like, really, it was one person pushing the tower and then a lot of people left far behind. And Kraken comes out actually on the side of Killstreak, looking for a pick, and getting that pick with like just the squid roll. That that was really cool actually.
Yeah, I like whenever the Kraken gets those like charge kills, they just like skewer people. It's a little bit funny to see.
Right. Krillstreak is actually doing a really good job. Oh, awesome pick. Like Krillstreak is doing a really good job like pushing in front of the tower as they push it. Like
being able to smuggle in the roller.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was just gonna say, when you push with the tower, you want to push in front of the tower, and really, that's how you make a sustainable push, is you push with and in front of the objective. Oh my god, crazy pick. 2 down on both sides. Bubble comes out on tower. Ooh, and they're at that second checkpoint. Like, this is huge for Killstreak.
This could be really scary. If they break that checkpoint effectively, like, they just gotta dive on the tower. It's so quick. The tower moves so fast, and they've got that Kraken top right. It's all for Hydra. They gotta just run for it. They
no,
Kraken's
on the tower. Like, I don't know. This is like, they're.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're fighting for that tower. They have to get on tower. Oh my god, it's over. Krillstreak takes the game. They use the cooler. Oh my god. Everything
dying on the tower.
They really just had to feast for that tower, but like they had a Kraken on the tower. They had like a Splatling on the tower. Like. You were getting killed, like, once you were in that range. Like, past that second checkpoint, like, once they broke it, yeah, it was basically curtains.
Yeah, that second checkpoint is the make or break for that map, and once they broke that checkpoint, it was, like, it's not completely wrapped until it hits 0, but it is very, very difficult to get back in. I think 0-2 needed to play for strikes more, play for Booyah more, and the specials that can get people off the tower and clear space effectively. Back to what we were saying earlier, Krillstreak getting, I think his milk on that roller in front of the tower, being able to just like hit him over the head, were really good on them. Right?
Like, especially with like, just being in front of that tower during a push, like painting in front of you so then your main Slayer can just go in and just wreak havoc. It's really, I think what they're doing so well is like, they're taking advantage of their picks, they're like moving with and in front of the objective. Like, really that's what you want to be doing.
Yeah,
it's really just so beautiful.
Very good. But like with any mode, you want to get the objective and you want to get people in front of the objective, so it takes longer for them to get to the objective. They got to fight through you to get there, right? And Krillstreak just like had an absolute masterclass at that, just like clearing the way, letting that tower just like, well, not super cleanly. 0-2 put up a good fight at the end there, even though it didn't work.
They did have a really good moment with the Booyah ball where, yeah, like after Krillstreak's first push, like they really did have to, like they pushed them back into mid, but with 0-2's push, they pushed forward with the tower and nobody pushed in front of the tower. Like it was really just one guy on the tower and then 3 people on their side of the map. So
yeah, I think it was good initiative on the tower rider to get going, but everyone else needed to be on the same page. Like, I think any play, like, it can be good as long as the team commits to it. It's just the team has to be on board and on the same page, ready to go. One thing I want to note with 0-2 is whenever they use Booyah or strikes, like people needed to be in position to like capitalize on it. Like they'd throw the Booyah at the tower, but people weren't close enough to the tower to be able to fully take advantage. So I think that's something that if they manage to change up here, that could change the difference really.
Right? Like, especially on a map like Mahi Zones, where, like, as long as you get a little bit of pain on the zone, you have an in to cap the zone, or at the very least, dispute it.
Yeah, I think Mahi Zone, it's just so small that, like, capping it is, like, the last thing you do, because you really need to get picks to secure it, especially with the weapons they're running, like Dowsers and Zumi, those paint, and Zap too, like, those paint a lot. So they're gonna have to get the kills first to, you know, get, like, assault, like, strong foot in. One thing I do want to note is that 0-2 has two backlines sometimes even. So
ooh, Dread coming out on the side of 0-2.
Okay, I like it.
I like it.
Yes.
Lot of paint actually on the side of 0-2, but they do have that Glucose that just got that early double on the side of Kill Streak right there. Oh my god!
Oh,
Carbon Roller just gets it in, gets a crazy double! Oh my god!
Okay.
I like it, I like it.
Hitting too. Yeah, it's a beautiful play by them there.
Right, two down on the side of Kill Streak. They see a stealth jump. Don't think. Oh! Ooh, just barely the dodge roll getting out of it. Looks like Krill Streak is going to take this early lead on... Oh, how did I say that? It looks like...
That is a quickly down.
Yeah, Krill Streak is actually pushing forward, you know, popping that cooler, moving into just try and keep 0-2 out of mid for just a little bit longer. Great, like, distracting the Zuka from zone, though.
I do want to point out, like, they have that slider, which can guarantee them to come back, but one thing 0-2's comp is, like, while it's good, I think Krill Streak's comp, like, fights super well. Dually is very hard to fight. Carbon hits you in the head if you get too close. You know, it's just very hard to test. But that's a Dread Ringer with Reef Slider that gets the zone, so it's going to buy them a lot of time, and they're going to be able to, like...
Go my wearing control.
Yeah.
Flipping that zone is huge for them, though. Even though, like, Killstreak's at 26, it just goes to show that they're not going to have, like, a very easy 0 to 100. At least not right now. Building specials, here comes Azuka. Azuka is ready. Reef Slider's almost ready, too. Here it comes. It's gonna... Yeah, I would've... You know, commentators first. It almost came out. Ooh, the crazy double, though, from Trucks on zone. Capping it, like, breaking their... finishing their timer. This Carbon is being a menace, though. Ends up dying out.
Trucks hitting 2 is super good. It's gonna get them, like, the stand in mid that they needed. Like, they've been scrapping a bit before, but getting 2 effectively there is gonna get them a lot more control and enable them to move past them. But unfortunately, they do go 2 down. I'm not sure to what. Probably Milk on the Carbon there. It's been a menace this entire game, just moving and getting those picks. So, you know, 0-2, they just gotta stabilize here. Like, well, that's stabilizing, they just get the whole enemy team.
Yeah, true. 0-2's, like, what they really want is they really want to get Krill Streak out of mid completely. And they were able to do that earlier, but now it's going to, like, now that they just got back into mid so easily. However, 3 go down on the side of Krill Streak, so this isn't going to be, like, cakewalk for them.
Yeah, Krill Streak's tricking me a little bit. 0-2 has got that reslider ready, so they're going to be able to put the zone at a moment's notice. They're going to get that lead swap, so right now, Krill Streak's got like one last push. They got to get going now. They got their Zuka ready from the Carbon. They really just have to throw everything possible. That's one.
Oh, that was a crazy good pick. That Dread actually had their Reef Slider ready, so this is huge if they can like dispute the zone. Oh, and no, they weren't able to.
If they were just like a few seconds faster, I think they might have gotten the neutral at least and got themselves some more time. But just really good hold by 0-2. Like, they were able to punish Krill Streak. Like, Krill Streak, I think, got a little bit overconfident. They were just dropping in the mid and taking fights. And 0-2 managed to, like, make sure that they didn't get away with those plays.
Right? 0-2 actually had, like, once that Dread came in with, I think, that second Reef Slider into zone, and they managed to get everybody out of mid, or at least mostly out of mid, especially while, like, that Gluga couldn't really do anything, like, just stuck in that Booyah. Like, it really, that was the moment that they said, okay, well, this is our mid now, not your mid anymore. And it just goes to show, like, having a stationary objective, sometimes it can make things, like, a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. I do think, like, holding was the strength of 0-2's comp, because with that heavy and that bucket, like, bucket super good for ledges, heavy, really good at holding space, like, they need to get set up like the heavy isn't particularly great on retake, but once it gets in position, it's really strong and difficult to deal with, especially for Krill Streak because they didn't have a backline player, so they didn't really have the ability to reach their heavy.
Right? You can really also see like Krill Streak's like very I know what I'm going to be doing in these kinds of circumstances, right? Like when the Carbon went in and got that early double and then died, right? Like that was like perfect example of like, okay, this is our signal to go ahead with our plan. But once 0-2 kind of messed up like their flow, they couldn't really get back into it, and you could really see how they were just dropping, they were staggered, and in the end they like even though they got back into zone right as the game ended, they were too slow, you know?
Yeah, I think Krill Streak plays off of momentum really well. They send Milk in, like they smuggle in the roller hits him over the head, really good picks, and then like it's just so fast, there's no way to deal with it, and then they just keep riding that momentum. But with like as backline or backless comps go, it's like a little bit difficult to break back in. You got to use those specials and play off them instead of picks to move, because it's just hard to test.
Right. Now that we finished looking at our group, we should take a look at the rest of the group, see how they're doing.
What group? Yeah, okay. Group B here. Forgotten 2-1 over Stars Align is one I'm interested in. Forgotten team that like, sorry, that we're thinking is gonna be like projecting. We think they're gonna make alpha, right? Like dropping a game to Stars Align, which they're good, but like I'm thinking like Forgotten's like a super strong team, so really good game for Stars Align. Mantic Boat Fan Club. I need to double check. Hold on. I need to know if they're who I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. Okay. Squid Ass 2-1 over Calamity Forge Neo is also what I'm interested in. Squid Ass, the team that time we're at FTIU heads, they won, right?
Yeah, they have one.
Okay, yeah, recently coming out of FTIU, taking on Calamity Forge Neo, which is a team that's been in our like alpha or at least high beta group, is super good. So strong performance from them. Arrows of Fire. I'm not sure who Wavebreaker for Miyabi is, but nice to see them back. And 2-1 is interesting.
Right.
I'm looking at Group A currently, with Ethereal Winter taking a 2-1 over Sheer Cold, which is interesting.
Oh wow.
I'm looking to see who's on Ethereal Winter. Yeah, Sheer Cold, a team that made top 16 last month, dropping a set to Ethereal Winter is interesting. So pretty good win for them. I'd be proud of that.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a lot of teams are almost completely finished. Like the brackets, like in Group C, like there's only one group that's not finished yet.
Oh. Yeah, this group just never mind. I lied. I was going to say they were off that, but VQ, Vector Cry, and Heavens at Lunatics are still going at it 1-1.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of groups not finished yet, let's take a short break and come back to you for Swiss round 3 in just a few.
I don't think. Oh? Caution, one overruled. Okay. Question mark?
Be kind to me, please.
No, it's funny. Don't worry. Hello and welcome back to Low Ink March 2024. I'm very excited for the set. We've got a really spicy set coming up for you. We got Rogueport Rascals versus Caution for Swiss Renter here, and of course, Time's still with me. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi. Hello.
Really excited to see these teams. I do know that there's. I'm not sure if they're going to be playing it, but they've got an H3 on each side, and I would love to see some more variety and cooler picks here.
The H3 versus H3 is crazy. It's giving, like, I remember watching the, was it Meal for Two? Was that what it?
Two-course meal. Yeah.
Two-course meal.
Two-course meal.
Yeah. Watching Two-course meal and seeing like an H3 on both teams, like almost every single set, like that was beautiful. But these people actually know how to play H3. So,
yeah, so
that's hype.
It won't be 25 kills and 20 assists. These guys, they're like familiar with the weapon. They're gonna be like shooting people. It's gonna be great. That's nonsense. We're gonna look at the maps. Round one is Rainmaker on Undertow, which I am a huge fan of. I think it's my personal favorite Rainmaker map. Playing Blitz Crab Leg is unfortunate. Taranako is really good as well.
I have an opinion on Rainmaker Undertow.
What's the opinion?
My opinion is there's only one route you can push.
Well,
and if you push the other
yeah.
route, you are a fool. Does this make sense?
Me and Solo Q, I pop the Rainmaker shield, I get 3, and then they go right, I cry a little bit. But when I think it's really good, like if you can, like a lot of teams don't utilize the right side, like it's a quick break, like they'll see you grab the Rainmaker and then they're gonna immediately position the right side because that's the part you need to defend. But then
the problem, right, with going right is essentially the enemy team will have the Rainmaker in their like their hands. Like there's nowhere that you're gonna get that Rainmaker back in a reasonable fashion. And if you do, you're gonna push left.
It's like a quick steal. Like you go there when distracted and you grab some quick points, and I think that's good for that. But the sustained push, you do gotta go left. That's an Ink Brush. Oh my god.
That's the first thing I saw. The Ink Brush, and then they have a Rapid Pro. Though I feel like the Ink Brush would go a little crazy if they can like actually go and get those big. Is that a? That's a Slosher, not a Dread. I was like, we've seen so many Dreads together. Speaking of which, pushing that Rainmaker and then getting stopped immediately. That means that the Rainmaker is going to be on Caution's side of the map. Caution's side this time.
Yeah, the Rascals going to be getting a quick checkpoint break and then pursue down. This is going to be a pretty big push. That's another pick. They're very staggered right now. They're getting a lot of huge kills. If they grab this, they can easily push it to 20 here.
Oh yeah, with that cooler too. Oh, with the back too.
Oh, that's
going up, dunking the almost push it to 1. That's incredibly high. And with the oh my god, the back pop is just dunking it. Oh my god!
35 seconds from 100 to 0. A huge, extremely fast.
Huge Rainmaker game! Oh my goodness! That was Rogueport Rascals, right? Oh my god!
Yeah, Rogueport taking game 1 in like. Oh my god, I don't even know.
Fastest Rainmaker game in the West. That's crazy.
80% speedrun.
80% speedrun is literally true. Like, they might have died with the Rainmaker, but they died perfect position, launched the vac, boom, kills, like, a bunch of them. Oh my god, dude! That was hype. Like, if I was in a script, I would, like, say replay. Like, frame 1 replay. Like, that's just, oh my god.
Yeah, you know for sure that they scrimmed that map a lot. That was, like, rehearsed, like perfected, like they knew exactly where to go, what to do. Oh my god, masterclass actually. Right,
it was beautiful. Quick game 2. We're going to Clam Blitz Crab Leg Capital. Right, pushing so okay. Crab Leg Capital is like, when you're on Clam Blitz, I feel like I see a lot of people don't actually push left at all, like not even for like flanks. But I feel like that's actually a very important route to go. Like, yeah, going right, especially top right, is like a really key position on the map because you can lock down the entire area to push those clams forward. But going left is actually kind of underrated, I feel. Not to like push clams or anything, but like for flanks and stuff.
That Ink Brush, especially on the side of Caution, I think they can make use of that block. Well, I guess the brush will have gone the greats. That's an L3, not the H that we talked about, but close enough. And that's.
And here comes the Kraken leader. Brush is still coming out though on the side of Caution.
just see how this plays. That leader's obviously going to be huge, especially because they're not playing into any other backlines, so they're just going to get free reign on the map unless they get an unpleasant leak that appears. But,
right? Ooh, early pick on the side of Caution. Having to rush back, it's just the brush.
Okay, well, forget what I said about like leader dominating the whole map, because Rogueport Brass is just going to run like straight into their base and get a lot of kills, get a quick first dunk. Unfortunately, they are going to go down to the bomb, but Barbella's I was going to say get a few more points, but you know.
Getting that one clan though, it's bigger than you think it is, right? Because that means if they get like a single ball in, they're not going to get lead right away.
When they crack and jump, that one time's going to make the difference.
Kraken versus no Kraken, so 2 down on the side of Rascals though, so Caution is going to be starting to try and get that push going. No one's going top right though.
Looking at it? Okay. Oh, they're not going to do it, but they saw the vision.
Here comes Kraken. Oh,
I was going to say... Here.
Oh, sorry, no, I was just like, here comes the Kraken. And getting that dunk in, it had 2 balls though, which is unfortunate. So this brush is just going to have to jump back to spawn, yeah? Gives up the entirety of mid though. Oh my god, so fast, sorry.
What I was going to say is Rogueport Rascals, like, well, okay, let me read this. Look, Caution has like a slower comp. They need to get to set up the Kraken, set up the leader. Like, there's a lot of steps before they can really get moving. While Rogueport Rascals has been super strong, they've just been, like, in their face the whole time, getting kills, taking every fight possible, and just never letting up the pressure, which you'll see. That's a full wipeout! That's going to be a really
full wipeout! He's gonna get that clan in! Oh my god! Down to below 50! Crab comes out, like, they're just gonna be trying to lock down this entire area. Yeah, no one's getting clams though, so they do have one clam to hold it open, so...
Yeah, Zap's got one clam, they can... well, they're going back for it, but I don't think they're gonna make it back to the basket. So, no. 17 is huge for Crab, like, not even the Kraken can...
Well, clams, actually, in general, just 17 is huge. Like, even if they dunk, like, 3 balls, they're still gonna have to put in a few clams to beat that.
Yeah, Crack Cheese is just, like, it's slow to set up, and if you, like, notice it's coming, then you can just, like, rush them down, and Rogueport Rascals just might be a little bit too fast for, like, the strat to, like, get properly set up.
Right, especially, like, with this Crab, like, pressuring this leader, like, there's not a lot they can really do here. Like, as a leader.
Yeah, leaders just, like, leader and specials, they gotta, like, find these fixes.
Ooh!
I think Rogueport Rascals has, like, a very comfortable lead. They can afford to play, like, they can keep the top right. They don't necessarily, like, need to push anymore. Like, obviously knockout's nice, but this is comfortable for them. Oh, well, that's a wipeout, so I guess it's less comfortable, but...
Not as comfortable, but still good. Like, they're passing clams at the basket. One of them's gonna go back and try and get that power clam. They also have a Kraken.
Yeah, that's a lead. So,
getting that
that's 3 down. Wait, hold on, this is gonna be huge.
Yeah, this is huge. Oh, they still throw the clam up, though. Gets it in the end.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Almost.
So you talked about one clam making the difference.
Yeah, wait, literally one clam. Wait a second. Hold on, am I psychic?
You might be psychic.
Commentator's blessing for once in my life.
This...
Ooh! Crazy trade.
Okay, I won't lie that I wasn't, like... It's a very slow comp. I was so concerned about them being able to, like, get back in and really blow up the pressure, but they've managed to get, like, a really good, like, chunk of points onto Rogueport here, so I think anything can happen.
Rogueport does have 2
points,
so, like, that's almost a knockout, like, especially if they have, like, a few more little ones. Like, 19 is nothing to sniff at.
These strikes are gonna cause a lot of pressure, but it doesn't really matter because Lemon on the leader's side should face get a nice pick. They can follow up with Bazooka as well. It's like, no. So, they're not gonna get a chance to push, but they're, like, holding strong for defense right now.
They do have that Kraken though. Oh! Power Clan coming in with, like, 5 little ones. 1, 2, come on, they only need 2 more. Yes! And Goober gets that last clam!
Okay, I was getting worried for Rogueport Rascals, but they managed to bring it back in the last second. Like, I didn't see the power clam until, like, it was pretty much too late. Like, I was a deer in front of headlights.
Right? And that's okay, no worries. Yeah, deer in the headlights. It's like... Oh my god, like, so many things happen, like, in that push towards the basket, and then forcing the leader to pop the Kraken. And even though they did that, like they were looking at the people who were coming up left side from the flank, that they didn't even see the people coming up that ramp, and then power clam into just throwing those like 3 clams into the basket. Like it was over.
Yeah, I don't think the like Kraken couldn't really have done anything there. They like I guess they needed to put their body like on the ramp, but either way, I felt like it might have been even too late there because Babel had that power climb, and then the slosher was in a like odd spot to get. So just it's a little bit rough. So they had like a super strong push there.
Right. I mean, honestly, both teams were super strong here.
Oh yeah, this is a really good showing.
Right. Speaking of good showings, Tower Control Mako is pretty exciting.
What?
Like a lot of like, okay, a lot of people I know absolutely adore this map, right? Like Tower Mako, it like once you get past that first checkpoint, that's like right by Snipe, right? Yeah, like it gets it becomes like really difficult, like almost a standstill. And then if you get to the 3rd checkpoint from there, it's basically like you're home free.
Yeah. On stretch. It's rare to KO here, but like honestly, if you manage to clear that 2nd checkpoint, you can start feeling safe. Like obviously you want to push a little bit further than 40, which is where the checkpoint ends, but like that's pretty comfortable, I think. I do wonder if that C leader pick is gonna come back out here. Kraken, super nice for tower. Leader, nice for tower. We did see it.
Right. I don't see it that much because even though the leader was really good, Rogueport Rascals is just way too fast. Like,
yeah, I mean, I do think it's a climb spec, but I'd be interested to see it here.
Right.
That's an L3D. Hello.
That's a shooterless comp. Wait, no. Well, do you count L3 as a shooter? I don't really count it as a. It's like not a traditional shooter.
No, we'll give it a pass. Triple bucket on Mako. I like this a lot.
Big fan.
They got the chip damage from the machine, and then they got the strikes from the sloshers.
That's on the burst bomb as well with the L3. In comes a hammer, gets the pick on the charger.
Slice and hammer pierce, gets 2.
Let's go.
3rd.
Almost. Oh, the burst
that's a full wipeout.
That's awesome.
Like huge opening for.
That's basically first checkpoint, like for them.
Even like you're gonna get damage in a second. Having all of these sloshers just sit under these ledges is gonna be really hard for people to approach them. And they're using strikes as well. They have bazooka and not anymore. They've got the stamp. Not anymore.
2 guys down on the side of Rogueport Rascals. They're still gonna be pushing that tower though. Like that just goes to show how oppressive these sloshers under ledges are.
Yeah, they managed to pick up another 2 kills after their specials went down, which really. The handbrake's going around here. It's going to get a pick on the shot, which is really huge. They were like after Bazooka. That could have been right after defense. It's another pick. So CB2 right now, they're contesting this second checkpoint. They're not going to be able to break it, but that's really, really good progress in the first minute.
Right, and I think one thing that's also really good is Babella is like not letting up on control of mid at all.
Oh my god, I would have lost that fight. Babella's been doing really good on the L3. I mean, they're like 20 XP on H3. I expect this performance. They're just that good at these semis.
Right. Are they still pushing? No, okay. I was like, wait, are they still pushing the tower? No. But they do have completely control of mid. It's going to be really hard for Caution to just get in, as you can see, like, even with, like, just, yeah, so much is going on.
Yeah, even like, they were down at one point, but they still, like, I don't know how they do it, but they were down a player and they still felt like they were in control. Like, even with a disadvantage, it was like, their presence in mid is just so dominating.
2 specials out on the side of Caution means that they're feeling confident enough. I'm Rogueport Rascals, sorry. It feels like they're confident enough to start pushing that tower. Get another wipe, actually. This is going to be huge for them because as they break that, they're going to break that 2nd checkpoint. It starts getting like much harder, especially because now they can't drop down that right side of their spawn even. Zuka comes out. Oh my god, so impressive.
Listen, Zuka, Chris. That's gonna be them nearly getting to that last checkpoint, which, if broken, it's pretty much wraps. I thought Lagoon just jumped up the map there. This is really hard for them to get back in. 3 sloshers, like, shooting up at every single angle that you can possibly take for defense here. Like, this is probably home stretch. They have that Zuka. If that Zuka doesn't get anything, that's gonna be game.
Ooh, and it looks like they actually didn't. Sniper does pick, but the Slosher's still on the tower! And that's game 3 for Rogueport Rascals.
That might be the most dominant trio I've ever seen. Extremely good performance from Rogueport Rascals. I can't commend them enough. That was, like, amazing gameplay.
Right. Honestly, just the fact that they were so fast and one thing I really liked about Rogueport Rascals during Mako is when they were in mid, they didn't necessarily need to push the tower, and they knew they didn't need to push the tower. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, let's just get specials, and then when we see an opening, let's push. They get 2 specials, they're like, okay, let's start writing tower, instant wipeout. Like, not even funny. Like, just instant, quick wipeout.
It was just so hard for them to get pushed because they got that, like, triple slosher composition. Like, any hill that they want, like, those sloshers were taking high ground and low ground. Like, with low ground, they hide under the ledges, they shoot up. You can't hit them, they can hit you. With high ground, you can't look at them, but they're right above you. It falls on your head, you die. It was just so strong and difficult for them to push against.
Right? Just wow, honestly, that set was so fast. I don't even know if any other groups are like, or any other matches are like finished.
Oh, let's take a look. Yeah, no one.
No way.
No, there's no sets completed in Group B. Yeah, they're the first on the Group C by alliance, and no one's finishing Group D. That, like, I don't think there could be a better performance.
You're crazy for that. Well, we have a lot of time now. If you want to say something before we sign off and let the next set of commentators.
Oh yeah, that. Okay, so that is going to be our last set. I appreciate you all, viewers, for putting up in my mid.
Wow!
Time. Do you wanna share anything?
Yeah, so first off, we actually, for anyone who is not necessarily past the S rank, in fact, probably around the A+ rank, there is a tournament going on called Juniors Draft that you should totally sign up for in the Under Pressure server, dscore.gg/underpressure. It would be really cool, really cool and fun. It's a draft tournament, so you don't even need any teammates or friends or anything, and it's a great opportunity to meet people, get into competitive. If you like watching Low Ink and you like seeing these matches, think, man, these guys are so cool and so good at Splatoon, way better than me. Guess what? That could be you.
It would be so awesome. It would be so cool. The Juniors Draft on April 13th. Really good opportunity. It's out there. I'm like terrible self-ad. Registration, we've got 1 week left, so there is plenty of time. If you are A+ rank and under, this is a good opportunity for you. It's, for people looking to get into comp. We're making a little thing for you.
And make sure you also put your Discord in correctly, because you'd be surprised how many people don't actually know what their Discord at is for some reason.
We're gonna mark them teal.
Yeah, true.
What does teal mean?
No, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that your Discord ad's wrong and you need to change it. Anyway, something else is... Yeah, feel free to sign up. Sign-ups do close on April 6th. It's gonna be awesome. And... yeah! And shout out to my friend T, who told me to sign up with Ellie for this. And that's it, actually, from us. The matches are starting to finish up now, or at least some of them are. The faster ones are. And that's wrap. I am Time, Fresh Squiffer on many platforms, but not Twitter.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not after the accident.
I'm Ali. I have nothing to plug. Just Juniors Draft. Make sure to sign up if you're eligible, and make sure to watch as well and support the teams.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some lovely commentators coming on after us. It was so fun to commentate now, and see you later.
Take care.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to 2024. My name's Riley, and I'm here with Lily.
Lovely to be here with you, Riley. I'm Lily Griffith. You can just call me Lily, and we'll be taking you through to the end of day one of Low Ink March 2024. And I'm excited to be here with you. I'm excited to see what we have in store for us in this set between Wahoo Pole and kombucha. I'm not sure how you feel about kombucha. I enjoy a bit of kombucha from time to time, but Wahoo Pole, we've got Wendell, Squib Kid, Voyager, River, and Taka here playing against kombucha's lineup of Red, Third, Moss Chai, and Y2K9. This is going to be an interesting matchup, I think. Wahoo Pole, that I reckon could be a pretty steadfast team considering the name, but I actually haven't seen these two teams play against each other yet.
Now, to be honest, I've been kind of out of commission with low level for a while due to various reasons, but I have to say, they definitely made the right decision getting the Wahoo World Pole fan to commentate them play. If you know, you know, but who cares about that? First match we're going on to is Splat Zones on Robo Ramen, which, I don't know about you, but I think this is far and away, like, you know, hot take incoming, this is far and away the best of the new maps that they've added over the course of DLC. But, you know, going into the game here,
you're so right.
We've got double backline from, I believe that's Wahoo Pole, funnily enough. So let's see how they make that work. Perhaps a midline Explosher.
Yeah, I think that could work. On the other side, we're seeing pretty much a best comp actually, with the longest range weapon being that forward throw here. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully to be able to maybe just about psych out the other team in order to just kind of make sure that they can't really make any headway here. It does look like, however, kombucha has already made their first push, capping the zone, but has been neutralized at this very moment. Wahoo Pole hoping to come in, but they've lost a couple of players here, but that's 3 players down on the side of kombucha, so I don't think they will be getting that zone any soon.
The problem, though, is that, yeah, they might have gone 3 down, but they had completely displaced the members of Wahoo Pole. It was only the shot and the E leader left behind, so they weren't really able to capitalize on this, but they were able to take zone back. We've got Wendell here putting out quite a bit of paint, and Squib Kid on the E leader putting out pressure as well. River's kind of forced to take up aggression here. They do get 1 pick, and seems like they've managed to scrape away with, you know, not getting killed there. The Whale will take them down, but still, that is lead. The Booyah not getting zoned, but it is pushing them forward. That is something you want if you can kind of, you know, force a pinch there.
Yeah, however, they do lose a couple of plays once again. I think this is still going to be kombucha's match at this point. Considering they did manage to get that first push in, they might be considering extending that lead at the moment. They just need to make sure that our double backline comp on Wahoo Pole is held far back enough that they can't touch the zone. However, we are seeing Wendell here trying as they might to cap this zone, but they are going to be losing a couple of plays here, getting rushed down by that Ink Rush. I feel like this Ink Rush is going to be absolutely a thorn on the side of these backlines every time they kind of rush in to try and get some picks or to get some trades. That's going to be slowing them down just that extra bit more, even if you are the side playing the slower weapons. We're seeing the score at the moment go down into the 30s on the side of kombucha here, so I think they're in a pretty good position just to be able to hold this lead, but with those 3 players once again going down, things might flip in the other direction as Wahoo Pole is very quickly taking up space here, trying to get into these nice vantage points in order to stop them from being able to even touch the zone.
Oh, for sure. Not much penalty left, not really that big of a gap in terms of lead. Taka pushed all the way up and was able to get a pick out of it. Good aggression there. But all the members of kombucha are back up. They've managed to get 2 down. They have controlled zone again, able to, you know, good kind of offense there. Y2K forced to jump back off cooler, and it seems like they're going to not quite get zone back. Wahoo Pole making a very solid effort, and they will actually successfully defend that. And again, not that much penalty to break through here. If someone's able to push up, possibly alongside Wendell, that could be huge for them. But they go 2 down to Bazooka from the shot here, and kombucha will continue their push.
Yeah, I think Kombucha just being able to play this rushdown style, especially with the help of their ink brush, just to be able to go in and kind of eliminate, get useful trades actually, is going to be fantastic for them. We do have an ink brush on the other side as well, so if they can kind of like do a similar thing, I feel like it might be somewhat more difficult considering the faster paced weapons, but you know, with those two players once again going down, I feel like they've successfully been able to keep up the defense, especially with the longer range that they have, to actually hold them a little bit more at a distance. Depending if Wahoo Pole can continue up the more defensive style of play, just to hold back any push that Kombucha tries to make. And you know, their pushes, although they've been happening, they've been able to push down to 35. I feel like only one of them, or only two of them, have really been particularly long. Whereas Wahoo Pole could potentially have quite a long push here, as long as they keep Kombucha displaced enough and keep their eyes on them, get the right picks they need, make sure those 3 players are down, so they can take that lead going to this final 45 seconds.
Wendell was not giving up that position at all, and they definitely were rewarded for it. Plus, the shot pushing up was very solid. River here on the ink brush doing everything they can to keep paint on the zone. Kombucha trying to respond with specials, but it's not enough. The Booyah, oh, they do get zoned back, though, and they've got the Cooler to respond to it, slapping them with a penalty of 57, but that's not stopping River.
Oh, it absolutely isn't. They just need to be able to get some good picks going forward. And with those 2 players down on their side, I don't think they're going to be in a very good spot to be able to get any useful matchups here. We're seeing Chai here on the other brush, who's making sure that they are keeping with that whale. Wahoo Pole far away from the zone. It does look like they are in overtime, have a potential, even with those 3 players going down, potential to even take this win for themselves if they can just hold up this position and make sure that the other side cannot get to the zone at all. They really need to play smart here with only a few seconds left in the game. That Zuka's going to come out, but they have not given up this zone just yet. Getting the lead all the way down to 1. Not a knockout, but my goodness, that 1-point lead in overtime. That's something that I didn't quite expect to see, but honestly, with a matchup as close as this one, I'm not surprised considering how back and forth this was. But what a push that was at the end.
They forced the jump out, and that kind of really put Wahoo Pole into a tough spot because they weren't gonna have a great response. They did have the Zuka, and it seemed like they were able to get 1 pick off of it, or at least paint zone just slightly enough to neutralize it, but no, they weren't able to push forward quite enough. But still, that was such an incredibly back and forth game. I definitely was impressed by Chai's ink brush play, but I also got to give it up for Wendell the Explosher. I wish that you could see like the results screens in this game, because I want to know how much paint that they got in that match, because they were relentless with keeping up that positioning on zone. So definitely well played all around, and super close game, as it were. But regardless, we're moving on to Rainmaker Museum, which going as far as like fan favorite new maps go, Robo Ramen is up there, but I feel like Museum is definitely one of the at least one of my personal favorite maps, and that's been in since the beginning. So how's about that?
Yeah, it's a good one, especially on Rainmaker. And I have to say, like, one of my personal favorite map modes is Museum Clams. Actually, we won't be seeing Museum Clams this round, but we'll be seeing Rainmaker, which it's a good one. It's one of those modes where once you get out of mid, and it's not the most useful pop, because you don't really paint a whole lot of the middle of the map. Considering that Rainmaker is up on top of the spinner, but once you get it around to the other team's spinner, that's where I feel like the game really kicks off. After that first checkpoint is got. However, we are going into the match at the moment. Let's see if they bring out similar weapon comps, or if they're going to switch up a little bit. I'm hoping to see that explode. We are seeing Wendell back.
We're not going in the match. We're not going in the match. Actually, don't believe the hype.
Not? Oh,
but either way.
So
Either way, yeah, so Museum Rainmaker, some would probably call it a bit of a snowballish map, because, in theory, all you've got to do is make that slight jump across, and then from there it's a relatively straightforward shot. But, the spawn is also right there, so you have, certainly a lot of potential to defend. And, if you've got weapons with lethals, which you almost certainly will, then, you can respond fairly effectively. But, making that jump is not always a given. You've still got to have, quite a bit of stuff in your favor in order to accomplish this. So, you got to be ready. It's not quite as cut and dry as that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, when you consider the map terrain alone, you pretty much have one of the most useful high vantage points for the other side on top of their spinner if they're defending that jump across. Which, if you've got someone up there, they have probably the clearest sightline to mid in the game, and making good use of the spinner, good use of the plat as well, looking over into mid. It's pretty wide open, so you don't want to be staying around there for long, which is, I think, one of the reasons why I kind of enjoy Museum Rainmaker, because, for one thing, mid it's a tricky place to traverse because of how wide open it is, and you really want to be thinking about getting Rainmaker out of there, but being able to actually push it up onto the plat, it is a little bit trick pointy, but there are a couple of spots to get it across. Of course, you've got the jump from mid spinner. You've also got that ramp as well. That can be bombed out. Both places can be bombed out pretty much very well. However, I do believe we may be going into the match just to see if we'll be seeing this match up again. Oh, we're not having the exploit this time, but that's okay. That's okay. We've got some other nice weapons.
Yeah, we're changing out the leader for the ZF, which is a sensible decision, because you've got that wall that can potentially stall out pushes, as well as tri-strikes to potentially start them, and also the range blaster instead of the X-Splasher. So certainly quite the weapon pool you've got there. But we've got the Wahoo Poles coming out with the Rainmaker push first. I can tell they want to make that jump, and are they going to do it? Yes. Can they get the checkpoint? No, the range is going to stop them, and it's just the shot up there. Can they get the wipeout? Yes, they do.
I can't tell you how many times I have seen jumps across only to be picked off, and then wipeout occurring with 1 or 2 points before that checkpoint is even taken. But we can see that with that wipeout alone, how far forward their positions have been just to try and hold back Wahoo Pole. Now we're seeing red here trying to stay alive with the Rainmaker, looking like they're getting flanked around, but with that Booyah kind of pushing them into a corner, they don't really have many choices here except just to wait around before they can start moving up. They do decide to try and move up here, only to be taken down, but those are going to be some points in their favor in any case. Even though they've had to pretty much exceed mid and end their push at that moment, they still haven't got up onto their plat just yet. But neither team do have a checkpoint, so things could go either way at this point.
Yeah, I definitely want to give props to the other members of Kombucha when Red was pushing the Rainmaker, because they made sure that they had plenty of paint around them to allow them to avoid kind of those specials for a little bit. The Tri-Strikes did kind of end up pushing them forward, but this ain't about that. Check out this Inkjet triple!
Oh my goodness, that was fantastic triple, just to be able to shut down that second attempt at a push here from Wahoo Pole. The Inkjet triple, absolutely huge. They didn't manage to actually come back in too quickly off the back of that near white. However, Wahoo Pole is still going to be trying to get into their defensive position here just to stop this Rainmaker from moving forward. As you were talking about the wall as a defensive tool here, that's exactly what we saw there. However, they do manage to take that checkpoint, losing that lead. We're still seeing some fantastic, I think we're seeing some pretty good picks from the from the Zekafin, but with that wipeout, my goodness, it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle to be able to get anything done off back this.
Especially with the Booyah Bomb placement, solid idea in theory, but it seemed like they were just kind of focusing a little bit too far forward, and that allowed Kombucha to take down the two of the members of Wahoo Pole. Chai here just kind of holding their ground, looking for an opening. It seems like they're going for it, just waiting for the special, but they will go down to the close-range Zuka shot. That's gotta hurt. And now Wahoo Pole just trying to get control of mid here. It seems like they're in a pretty halfway decent position here for a push if they're able to just get 1 or 2 picks here. But they do at least get the ballpoint down, and they were right on the cusp of their special, but now they're just kind of bleeding members at the moment, especially when it's just the brush here. Y2K9 up here on the range, definitely trying to chip something out. Looks like Kombucha might just be able to get another push off.
Yeah, that's a nice position from the range blaster, which is going to be making it pretty dangerous to be getting close to those ledges there, I feel, on the side of Wahoo Pole. However, with only that range blaster alive at the moment, Wahoo Pole is once again in a pretty good position to start their push going, potentially get that checkpoint and take the lead with them as well if they can just get a player over there. That's Zuka hopefully helping out getting that checkpoint in any case, but it's going to take a bit of work to be able to continue this push going. That cop is going in favor. Oh my goodness, they're going for it! They do manage to... They do manage to, I think, I didn't even see if they grabbed it or not, honestly.
No, they grabbed it, but they just barely tripped over something and couldn't get the 1 point off of it. They did get a kill with a bomb, but that's not really enough to stop Kombucha from enabling a counter push here. Now, they do have the Killer Whale, which does have the potential to do something, and they are popping their Zuka. Are they able to just barely clip it? No, they killed the Zuka! That's huge! They might be able to get some more points off of this, unless this Whale has anything to say about it. Thankfully, not too close to the bomb. That's 2 down, briefly, for Wahoo Pole. And Squib Kid here gumming out the tri-strikes out of desperation, and it's just the range alive. This is where they need to get going now.
Absolutely. Well, I have to say that with those players going down as well, we saw a delayed wipe happen on the side of Kombucha here. Wahoo Pole could potentially use that to their advantage with that Booyah Bomb holding them back a little bit further, followed up
That's
by
2 down.
Zuka as well. This does look like with the 3 down, they could potentially get lead here. It looks like he's lost because they are going to be getting the lead right all the way to 38. This is where they are going to be dropping that Rainmaker. Going into overtime here with those 3 players going down, I don't know if they're going to be able to get a score lower than 38 at this point, but...
My goodness, Wendell! They hung behind them the entire time, and they, like, the members of Kombucha did not even realize it, and they just dropped down and went straight for the kill. That was incredible, clutch behavior. Definitely shout out to them.
That was amazing. An amazing final moment, I have to say. You know, when you have those 3 players going down and you're the last person up and they are popping that Rainmaker in overtime, you know you have to be the one who has your eye on that Rainmaker. Of course, they could have just kind of waited for a little bit longer until they were starting to push it up a little bit further on their plat and just like surrounded them. But, you know, Wendell was there, ready to take that Rainmaker out just to prevent that from even happening in the first place. And, you know, I think if you're there and you can do that, are going to be making that call and you're going to be doing it. And that's exactly what we saw at the end, just to prevent any potential threat of their lead being taken away from them once again. And you know, that 38, that score down all the way down to 38, that was a hard-won battle.
They kind of went the lunge for the points, but they just kind of ended up diving it. No need to kind of risk it further. And I really thought that Red, the ballpoint player, was about to clutch up and stop them just short of it. But no, Wahoo Pole was able to push through. And speaking of that, like, that was definitely a very well done push in general, because I feel like that's one of those moments where even though they had, you know, a delayed wipe, that's one moment where nerves, depending on who you are, can really get you down. Like, you could definitely, you know, overextend and go directly into like a bomb or something that you weren't seeing just in the rush to get points on the board. And, you know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But the Rainmaker carrier, which I believe was Squid Kid on the Charger, they definitely hesitated in a good way. So shout outs to them for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think that even though they're able to get all the way down to 38, that was pretty much a safe score for them, I believe. They did drop down, of course, at the end of that, but everything that happened to pretty much set up for that push kind of went their way. We saw that Booyah Bomb, we saw the Zuka coming out, but, you know, we are going to go into this final match, this tiebreaker match, actually. Clamblitz Scorch Gorge. At the end of this, we'll be seeing who'll be winning the set. I personally love Clamblitz Scorch Gorge. This is probably one of my favorite map modes. We're seeing Wendell actually switch over once again to another weapon, the Julie Squelchers, which I think is kind of interesting, but we are seeing, of course, that ballpoint come out from Red.
Kombucha with the same comp. I guess they were fairly confident in it. And I noticed that Wendell has the CDS badges, so I guess this is kind of the weapon they feel most comfortable on. So it's like, if you like it enough to put it on your thing twice, then you're a fan. But basically, yeah, they must be locked in, as the kids say. They want to take this set here. But yeah, Clam Scorch, definitely another fan favorite here. Pretty torn for mid at the moment, but the range is able to barely scrape out a kill. Y2K9 able to enable a 3-down scenario. It's just the Charger, and they know exactly where they are, but the Charger knows exactly where the range is, and they will be punishing them for that. Shy really trying to get an opening here. They've got the ball. Kombucha, or Wahoo Pole, excuse me, responding with the tri-strikes, able to stall it out just a little bit, and it looks like Wahoo Pole is going to get some pretty serious mid-control with Chai going down.
Yeah, I have to say, okay, these chumps and the Zook are pushing them back just a bit too far, and they are losing players as well off the back of that as well. This looks like it could potentially be, well, it does look like it is definitely going to be at this stage the first push of the game, 3 minutes 43 seconds into it. Getting those jumps and just help them out. It does look like with the amount of space they have to kind of move around, this is what you really want to be doing, just to make sure you can coordinate these clam pushes so you don't just have those 80 points and nothing else off the back of that. But that still was the first push of the game, and that is going to be giving the other team a bit of a pity clam to work with if they want to start using it. But I don't think that Wahoo Pole is going to be letting up mid at the moment, especially with this, especially with that flying just scoping everything out. But Red's going to be returning that. Flanking around here, hopefully find some opportunities to get some picks, especially with this really aggressive Inkjet here. Oh my goodness, this does look like things might be going the other direction, as third here has a clam going into the basket, followed up this time, taking the lead with them.
Yeah, that was a huge flank, and it seems like the Brush was starting to get some actual skirmishing done, but going 2 down briefly, it looks like that's going to be the end of that push, but Y2K9 does not look like they're about to give up this ground, and in fact, there are still members, including the ballpoint, from Kombucha, pushed all the way up. Y2K9 here is under quite a bit of pressure from 2 of the members of Wahoo Pole, and it seems like Squid Kid is starting to get something going with the Pity Clam, and you've got those tri-strikes at the ready as well, burning those a bit earlier than I expected, probably to force Red here into an unfortunate position. Their biggest range member going down, very big on that. And now it's time for the Brush here. Oh, Wendell's going into the push. They open up that basket. They just need 1 clan to get it in, and it seems like they've got 2 at the ready. That might be a delayed wipe on the side of Kombucha here. If they're able to get some skirmishing going on, they might be able to take lead in a big way here, but they elect to play it safe with 2 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, they do play it safe, which I think was a pretty good move considering where Kombucha is set up at the moment. If they start pushing up on that ramp, they're pretty much going to be taken out. That is not a battle you want to be winning at that point. But they've elected to pretty much hold their ground here, make sure that mid is not going to be taken back by Kombucha, knowing that they have the tools to make another push off the back of that. However, they are going to be losing the player who was carrying the power clam as well. So with Kombucha here knowing, okay, we're starting to win these fights, they're really going to be having to think about, okay, you know what, just as saying that, they managed to sneak into the clam.
Red went for some frontlining action, but they let the members of Wahoo Pole slip through, and they got a big push there, all the way down to 31. Red here, though, able to help their teammates get some mid-control, and they've got that Inkjet at the ready. They didn't have specials before, and that kind of hurt their ability to fend off that push, but here it comes. Red got a triple on it before. Can they make some magic happen here? Able to get 1 down, but that's 2 down for Kombucha, and make that a delayed 3 down here. River here really trying to hold up the offense here, but that's not stopping Red from getting the basket open. Wow. And Y2K9's on the back foot as well.
Oh my goodness, a couple of picks, key picks from Y2K9, scrambling to get some more clams in, and another power clam thrown in, getting the lead off the back of that, even though they had all those players, 3 players pretty much surrounding them. This is just not stopping the rest of their team to be able to find whatever opening they can possibly find, even if they're going to be going down with it. At least that score is going to be going down in their favor. With less than 20 seconds left in the game, all they really need to be thinking about at this point is defending any push coming from a Wahoo Pole side, and they've won the set pretty much. But Wahoo Pole, they're getting their specials ready. They're getting a push set up. They have lost Wendell here, but they do have the potential, I think, in overtime.
I don't know, they seem to be playing it safe. The Tri-Strikes weren't able to get much done, even with the members of Kombucha all clustered together. They do get a nice pick on the Range Blaster. That's 2 down. Are they able to make something special happen here? It doesn't look like they're going to be able to make it in time. No one's near the basket for the Charger to jump in, and in a valiant effort, Kombucha will be taking the set 2-1.
That was a valiant effort. I have to say that, even though I saw all those specials at the ready on the side of Wahoo Pole at the end there, I was thinking, if they're able to stay alive and not extend themselves too quickly, then I think they could potentially make another push with the power clamps they had as well. But I think that by the time they had used their specials, by the time they actually started thinking about pushing up, knowing, okay, there's not much time left, we have to get these power clamps in, pretty much anyone from Kombucha was around any corner they could possibly be around. So that wasn't going to be the ideal spot to be in to make any of those pushes. And Kombucha, they've been fantastic, I think, at playing deep defense that game. Slowing down Wahoo Pole from making their first push, I think it was their first push, to prevent them from getting a lead earlier on in the game. And then once again, just preventing them from being able to do anything overtime as well. But by the time they did that incredible, which I have to say, shout out to that Range Blaster for being able to get a few picks, to get those few picks just to continue their lead all the way down to, what was it, like 28 or something.
21, I believe.
That was incredible. Yeah, fantastic positioning, especially Y2K9, to be able to get those extra clams in as well, to help set up that massive push, taking the lead.
Very true. Definitely a shout out to both of these teams. Kombucha, based on the tag, I'm going to assume is more of a real team. Wahoo Pole, not so sure, but definitely I was impressed with both of these teams' plays. But Kombucha having a perhaps better chance of moving on to day 2 at this rate. But that is going to be it for round 4, so we'll be moving on to the 5th round momentarily. So stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back everyone to Low Ink March 2024 Day 1. I'm Lily Gravy Bread, you can call me Lily, and I'm here with Riley. And we have another matchup for you between Kit Kat and Truck and Car.
Now, to be completely real with you, of these two teams, Kit Kat is the one that I'm more familiar with. They're, I think, more of... Well, I don't want to say they're more established, because I'm not super familiar with Truck and Car. This is not their first Low Ink, but, yeah, all I can really think about is, like, why is it called Truck and Car? Like, what's the meaning here? But, you know, that's not for me to question. But, you know, regardless, yes, it's round 5, and match 1, it's Tower Control Inkblot. Yeah, what do you want me to say here?
Well, what is there really to say about Tower Control Inkblot? I feel like by the time you get around to the Tower Control Inkblot, pretty much every commentator I know has said, we're here again, it's the classic map mode, it's what you see every single tournament. But, you know, aside from that, at least we've got the new one, Marlin Airport in Splat Zones. I wish we'd see a little bit more Marlin Airport, honestly, in some of the other modes as well. I find Tower Control can be a little bit more interesting in terms of the ramps, in terms of the movement towards the other team's side of the map. Anyway, if you manage to push that far in, we've also got Rainmaker Crableg Capital, which also a new one in Splatoon 3 as well. But we're going into this first match at the moment. Tower Control Inkblot. Let's take a look at these weapon comps they have.
For sure. Now, I'm more familiar with Kit Kat's comps. I'll get back to that in a second. But we've got the the Octobrush and the Ballpoint, which, you know, I came to expect, and also a Carbon on the side of Truck and Car, rounded out by 3 relatively, you know, normal-ish weapon picks. So excited to see what Kit Kat's comp can do against these, because we've got a whole lot of non-shooter aggro weapons, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, on Truck and Car, it's great to see some more aggro weapon comp as well. They do have the double Zuka as well as the Slosher, which is definitely going to be the weapon that's going to be capping those ledges. It does look like they are forced to jump out, though, by the Inkjet as they have pushed that tower all the way to the first checkpoint, managing to clear those strikes coming out and the Zuka just to hold them back that bit further, just to make it a safe move ahead. We can see Halo here managing to dodge roll around, but being taken out before they can get up onto the bats here. It does look like this Octobrush is going to be clearing them out around that stack on the side here, hopefully being able to take some nice vantage points, at least for their team, to try and stop Truck and Car from moving back in again.
Yes, but we've got the Cooler and the Zipcaster for Kit Kat here. Mr. Unsus going for some relative picks here, getting 2 out of it. I don't know if he got it, but, like, you know, it's what we got. And Jan up here on the machine is looking to mess up their bats here. We've got the Booyah. Valiant not able to get much done on the Carbon, and they get 2 down. 1 coming down from the Booyah Bomb, and it looks like the members of... Oh my goodness. Truck and Car.
Yeah, they're going to town with that Zuki here. It does look like they're looking for another pick as well, forcing another jump out. But, you know, they've been pushed all the way down to 48. They have pushed all the way down to 48. Valiant here just going to be sharking around, using that for cover here as well, just waiting for someone to drop down just so they can get another sneaky pick. Does look like, however, you know, they might have to go at some point, managing to get some... Oh my goodness, Valiant going down this time with the Zuki here, getting a couple of great picks as well. It does look like they are going to be returning the favor, potentially getting a lead on them. They can continue up their presence here. Those strikes from Halo once again doing fantastic work helping them get the lead off the back as well.
Now, Valiant, yes, double Zuka, very impressive, but also Town got a very clutch Zuka pick as well, and they are just not letting up on the bats here. Mr. Unsus trying to stay out of range while remaining a threat, and it seems like they were able to get 1 out of it, but that's Tri-Strikes and Zuka at the ready, and yeah, that is a wipeout. Are they going to be able to respond in time? Not really sure, but the Zap not really able to do much on their own, so that is Truck and Car coming back from a rather shaky opening to really effectively seal away that game 1.
I feel like this. I feel like I can't understand why they're called truck and car now. It's maybe it's a little bit of an old truck and or car that they're driving here. But once they get that engine revved up, they're just going to be going full steam ahead. Well, I guess not full steam ahead. That's kind of more of a train thing. They're just going to be holding down the gas pedal and riding that tower all the way to the knockout, as if they have absolutely no problem in the world. That is pretty much free lane on the freeway for them all the way to the end.
What are these metaphors? I was gonna do something like, they just got ran over, but, who cares? Either way, yeah, that was some very impressive special usage. I think it might have just been a factor of, members of Kit Kat kind of piling up on top of each other in a rather unfortunate way, but there's only so much you can do about that. It's like, you got to be aware of what specials the opponent has at a given time, but still, like, maybe they were just focusing on something else. It's hard to say, really, but still, definitely impressed with how, it's not only special usage, because they did a really good job of pushing up and getting into difficult spots, and that's kind of why TC Inkblot can be so annoying for some of them. Like, for some people, I don't know, who cares? Splatzone's Marlin Airport.
Splatzone's Marlin Airport, I feel like every single rotation I've played in solo queue has had Marlin Airport in it, so I am, all too familiar with this from a solo queue standpoint. From a competitive standpoint, I know I've seen Marlin Airport every now and then. It's pretty fun, I think, on Splatoon. You've got a pretty wide open area in the middle. You have those moving platforms as well on the sides where you can get some interesting flank options, but once again, that also increases your visibility if you've got someone perched up there on those grates just to kind of snipe you out as well. Can be a little bit of a precarious push in around the sides there, but yeah, of course, once again, with a wide open map like this, you really want to be making sure you're pushed up far ahead so you've got enough cover and enough high ground, and be playing towards that spinner platform as well. Not spinner, the fan thing, that one, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about, right? You want to be able to get up there, get some high ground, and just luck them out.
No, I've never played this game. No, I'm just kidding. I have not really played Marlin Zones that much. Consensus on that map seems to be fairly split, but honestly, I'm a fan. I think it's probably one of the better new maps, but you can only trust me but so much. Zones seems to be kind of, Zone's rather small, so it's rather prone to special cheese, but same can be said for whatever, a bunch of other maps. And I see they brought in Rooster, who is probably the player I'm most familiar with, but we've got the Wiper now, and a double Zuka again from Truck and Car, this time in the form of double shot in lieu of shot and carbon. But that's not going to stop Truck and Car from taking zone right away, as Mr. Unsus here proceeds to be rather suspecting here with the shark. But does Halo know it's coming? No.
Halo does not, and then get taken out pretty cleanly there. That jump being forced out as well. This is going to be Kit Kat being able to take the lead off the back of them. That nice aggressive inkjet I love to see as well. It does look like they have pretty much pushed up all the way ahead. Unfortunately, we do have a disconnect, so
oh yeah, it's over.
I have to replay this one. It's Jova, not the disconnect. I come from the OCE, Australia, New Zealand, Pacific region, so I feel like disconnects is just a part of the game at this point for me. It's pretty much what you see in most rotations anyway. But we will be giving I do believe we will be giving a replay to Kit Kat and Truck and Car in this game too. But let's talk a little bit about these weapon comps. They did switch up the carbon, which I think is for another shot, which I think I think that's pretty fair. I can't see too many spots for a carbon that aren't taken up better in terms of the movement and the just being able to paint better with a shot, especially on zones. So I reckon that's a pretty good option for them as well. And of course, I've got the double Zuka to play around with. But Kit Kat, they did manage to get a lead in it, and I love that they have the inkjet as well, which I think when you have that moving platform with the fan to give you that extra bit of height can be a really useful tool in stopping the defending team any passageway from being able to move around. And also you've got that visibility to call out to the rest of your team if they're dropping left, if they're trying to go around the right to that other moving platform on the side as well. So I reckon that that's a pretty good choice for them here anyway.
It's very true. Goksu, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm very sorry. I met these guys at Riptide, and yet I still don't know. They are pretty much a ballpoint one trick, as far as I can tell, so you can expect to see the Inkjet here. And you'd think, oh, well, Inkjet, not the best zones weapon, blah, 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 but, busy, very good to have, like, all the time. So that's, understandable. But thing that I didn't even notice until I was, like, mid-sentence was that Mr. Unsus is on the shot instead of the Octobrush, which, that's fairly understandable, I think, because you've got Rooster playing the Wiper, and you probably don't want to have like a Wiper Octobrush type thing going for you on zones. And if you're going to have one, Stamp is probably going to come in handy for you more often than Zipcaster, right? Plus, you get more lethals that way, because, you got the... Well, yeah, you'll have the same amount of lethals. Whatever. But, yeah, it's an understandable decision if they're able to, flex like that. And, I mean, if you're going to flex, shot is, like, the weapon you'll want to have in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of course, not only can it, like, paint well, of course, it's a shooter. It's probably one of the best... Shooters are the best weapon class in general for painting the ground, so that's kind of the objective that you're looking at here. But of course, having a weapon like Wiper as well, you're talking about zone cheese. That's something that you can kind of do with Ultra Ramp a little bit if you manage to just like hammer around the zone quickly enough. If anyone's there, it's pretty much dangerous to be on the zone. Anyway, we're going back into the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I mean by Stamp is nicer on zones because of cheese. But yes, coming in, unsurprisingly, no real change in terms of... well, there's never going to be any change in terms of comps. But, I'm now realizing here that Truck and Car does not have a whole lot of range going for them. They've got the Slosher, and that's about it. So if Goksu sets up good positioning here, that could just be it. Mr. Unsus, we see them going for pretty much the same opening as last time, but Halo, I guess, caught on to that. But, still, looks like Kit Kat gets a pretty solid opening here. Goksu coming through with the Inkjet, most likely, yes indeed, and they're going to recap it kind of on this fan area. If not getting any picks, at least they put out a fair bit of pressure here. Members of Kit Kat don't look like they want to push up that much. This Zuka here could do quite a bit of damage in conjunction with the Tri-Strikes, keeping them from painting the zone, as it's 2 down on Kit Kat, and indeed that's going to be Truck and Car taking zone rather handily.
Yeah, they're moving up around the side here just to try to see if anyone's going to be dropping down, and of course that fan is going to be all the way up, giving them a little bit of vantage point, but unfortunately being seen by that Zuka taken out there. This is going to be hopefully an opportunity to get this zone back with the Slosher, and both shots actually taken out of the game. Mr. Unsus, followed up by Goksu on the Inkjet, is going to be capping that zone together, getting into some winning that 1v1 as well. Mr. Unsus is absolutely on a rampage here, just trying to make sure that it's absolutely too dangerous for anyone on the side of Truck and Car to be taking over that plat there. It does look like, however, all they have to do is basically hold their positions, but I feel like Truck and Car, they're just going to be having to work to come in with specials again. Their numbers are constantly not in their favor at the moment, but things might change shortly as 2 players on Kit Kat have gone down.
Sure, but Rooster very close to that Ultra Stamp, but they do go down, and now it's time for Truck and Car to take zone, and it seems like they are slowly doing that here. Yeah, definitely a good job. Like, that was a definitely very... Okay, for one, nice pick on the ballpoint. But also, yeah, very solid push from Kit Kat. Mr. Unsus looked like they were going to tunnel into one player who was retreating, but they did a good job of not overextending there, because that definitely allowed that push to go on longer than it could have. But unfortunately, things are looking pretty good for Truck and Car now. They seem to be pretty much in the same position here. Goku has the Inkjet. Are they going to go for it here? Yes. And they do get one pick, but that's 2 down on Kit Kat still. It's not really a whole lot going on, but they do neutralize zone. Truck and Car does pop their cooler. They do have zone again. They do stop Bazooka here, and they are able to take zone before the Slosher has a chance to pop their Ink Strikes. They do pop them. Big Gay here forced to kind of back off from zone, but they do manage to hang on to their life just a little bit here. Pretty solid penalty here on the side of Truck and Car here, but they are slowly burning through it. But Kit Kat is pretty close to all their specials here. Mr. Unsus coming through with Bazooka. Are they able to get any stray picks off of it? I'm not quite sure. Emilio here holding on to the side area very effectively, and they're almost through with the penalty. Can this Ultra Stamp do anything? It seems like they're about to get pinched. They do hold off the other members of Truck and Car, though.
Yeah, okay, I have to say, you know what? Every time Kit Kat has had their lead threatened from them, it's pretty much everything's kind of gone right for them on the defense side of things. However, we are seeing them once again trying to hold this zone in favor of themselves. They're constantly having to deal with penalty up, penalty up, penalty. Even though they do have this 6-point lead, they really need to be able to play back to their aggro positioning, which we're seeing here at the moment. Being able to get those 2 plays down as well, things are looking up for them at the moment as they have nearly gone through all the penalty. Ultra Stamp coming out, looking to get some damage on these players, but not being able to find any picks with the Ultra Stamp. Seeing if they can get that Zuka out, fantastic pick. Being able to get an amazing flank here, looking for that 3rd as well, being able to get it. This is looking like they are comfortably winning game 2. To Kit Kat. Rooster, my goodness. The very end of that match there, getting that triple.
Mr. Unsus treating shot like it's a freaking cheat code here. They went on a rampage, just as you said. And Rooster going in with the Ultra Stamp. Not getting any picks with it, but this is how Wiper is supposed to be played. This is a skirmisher through and through, and they got up in there and distracted them fully with that huge triple at the end. They could not do anything about it. I'm not going to say what I want to say, but if they're watching this, they know what I'm about to say. So just leave it at that.
If you know, you know, right? So
yeah.
Kit Kat taking game 2. We're seeing another 1-1 situation. So this is going to be coming down to game 3 once again. I have to say both teams. I feel like this set, just like the previous one, had some of those back and forth moments right before some massive play that happens that brings the team all the way down to a knockout as well. So I mean, this is fun. Even though these are knockouts, these are extraordinarily fun matches to watch. They do feel pretty even around the middle of the game as well. Rainmaker Crab Leg. I feel like the Zukas are going to be super duper useful once again for Truck and Car, so I can see them do really well here.
Indeed, but it's kind of hard to say. I kind of get the feeling they might go back to the Carbon on this map. I don't know. Having Rainmaker as a game 3 is kind of dicey here because both teams have got to be pretty frazzled. Now Truck and Car won game 1 rather handily, but Kit Kat definitely put up a strong showing there. I think both teams are going to be playing like there's a fire beneath them, so to speak. And now you've got both teams kind of making hasty decisions. It's just a matter of who can kind of keep the nerves off more, so to speak. But it's also worth noting that we've got a player swapping out for Truck and Car. We've got Valiant out in favor of this Dust individual here. So no idea what to expect there. Probably another Zuka weapon, probably not Carbon. I don't know. So they're already.
Well, I think they're kicking up some dust here. I'm imagining Truck and Car just revving up their engines on a dusty road just to allow themselves the extra bit of cover for themselves. When you. I feel like this is almost an intimidating name for Truck and Car. Having their car at the ready, revved up, ready to go, able to make some really big plays like we saw in the first one, especially with the smoke screen effect that we saw from the strikes, which really helped them kind of move in, especially with the Carbon. If they bring out the Carbon as well, I think that would be another good choice for them, but we are going to be seeing the weapon comps that they will be bringing to the table at the moment. Goku's switching out for the C leader, the custom E leader, and Dust actually is going to be bringing a backline to Truck and Car for the first time.
Alright, so never mind what I said about the ballpoint one-trick thing, but yes, custom leader, definitely interesting. You're going to want to utilize those beacons as best you can, and oh my goodness, they're already taking out members of Truck and Car, even though they didn't get popped. But yeah, definitely was not expecting a backline to come out here for Truck and Car, but yeah, they're not doing the double Zuka here. Instead, it's Kit Kat that's got the double Zuka here, with Mr. Unsus feeling pretty confident on shot after that last game. I mean, I would too. But it seems like neither team is real interested in pushing, but that's Kit Kat starting it right away as Goku slipping away completely undetected.
Well, you say that they did manage to get caught out just a little bit at the end as they saw them fall off damage trying to get them out there, but that is going to be that first checkpoint going in favor of him on Kit Kat. However, but oh my goodness, we're seeing Goku here in a very precarious frontline position for E-Leader just to set up that Kraken to help them pick up. They did pick up the Rainmaker. I'm not sure if they're necessarily going for that.
Yeah, I somehow made it this far without knowing that if you would... okay, now, I just assumed that they would just swim through the Rainmaker with Kraken, but no, apparently it makes you end the special, so you learn something new every day. So now it's time for Truck and Car to learn that they can push forward.
Yeah, well, they're really going to have to hold down the gas pedal at some point if they want to get this Rainmaker going there in that direction. They have picked up the Rainmaker. It does look like they're just waiting for Goku to be out of position before they can actually start pushing this forward. And with the help of those specials here, if Jam isn't going to flank them and from shocking like that, it does look like actually they do find an opening in any case to be able to get that checkpoint as well. Goku here trying to clean up the mess, getting that Rainmaker as well, see if they can push it over to the right side of the map, because it does look like it's a pretty clean pathway to them if they don't get bombed out here.
Yeah, Halo should not have gotten away with that jump out there, but Goku could definitely go for more points here. It seems like that, you know... Oh my goodness. Okay, well they did get more points, so mission accomplished. And Jam here, unfortunately, not able to really eke out an escape here. Mr. Unsus forced to kind of contest mid however possible, but they've got the strikes and the Trizuka on the side of Truck and Car, so this could potentially be playmaking. You know Town is hovering over that right stick. Mr. Unsus here not really in a safe spot, but oh my goodness, yes he is! He's got that Zuka!
Yeah, that Zuka, you know, you were talking about the confidence of staying to that shot. I think that was a pretty wise move for Mr. Unsus here. Now being all cooled up, they are getting back into position to get some kind of aggressive play going, knowing they have another Zuka at the ready as well. It does look like Goku here getting to a nice advantage, but great pick on Halo as well. This is going to clear that right pathway for them to start moving forward and getting that lead even bigger as well.
Yeah, they need someone in front of them, though. Mr. Unsus goes for it. They're able to... Well, they don't get much out of it. It's just 2 down on Kit Kat. They've got the Kraken at the ready, though, but, you know, Town on that Zuka is forcing them back quite a bit, though. 90 seconds, though. That's still plenty of time for Truck and Car to do something. Dust here kind of in a precarious spot because you know you've got Goku watching. The Zuka, though, for Kit Kat does make a big play for a little bit there, but they do go down. Now it's Truck and Car with the man advantage. Dust hovering over this Inkjet. They're definitely going to want to hang on to that to make a big play here, especially now that the Cooler's active. You know that's coming. But can Goku find it and deal with it with the Kraken somehow? Doesn't quite look like it. But Emilio, they see that left side, and the one player on Kit Kat can't really do much about it.
Yeah, it does look like they're going to have to find some kind of opportunity to move forward, but they were caught out, even though with those 2 players down on the side of Truck and Car. Kit Kat unfortunately could not get any kind of push going there, as they were pretty much just stopped dead in their tracks here by Truck and Car. Does look like, however, sorry, Truck and Car was caught up. Never mind, I got the teams mixed up. With only 30 seconds left, it does look like, however, Truck and Car is really going to have to be thinking about everything that they can do to be able to get this lead back to the Cat.
Goku got a really clutch snipe to stop the push, and it seemed like they weren't able to do much, but then someone got a Zuka kill, and now Big Gay gets a huge pick with the bomb. that's gonna stall them out quite a bit too, and I believe that's a delayed 3 down for Truck and Car here. Halo trying to force a pop here. They do get it up, but is anyone going to be able to do anything about it? Goku here on the Kraken. Kit Kat was able to stop it somehow. Kraken able to fend them off, and that's Kit Kat taking the set.
That is definitely, my goodness, it was very difficult, I feel, for them to even get down to 43 points. They were just kind of like chipping away at, or attempting to chip away at points every time they kind of went up that right-hand path there up on the crates. Truck and Car, they had some fantastic defense every time that push was being made, but I have to say, you know, the fact that they got it up there in the first place, knowing that once Truck and Car was out of position, they knew they were just going to be running that Rainmaker forward.
Yes, very true. I gotta be honest, hats off to both teams for kind of keeping their cool in that game. I think only really once we got to the end did either team begin to show kind of signs of exasperation, making the decisions for them, so to speak. You've got the it was just one clutch pick coming out after another for Kit Kat, because again, Goku gets the snipe to stop the push, then Mr. Unsus with the Zuka kill, then Big Gay with the bomb, and they've got Cooler to keep them alive the whole time. Just very well played all around. And, you know, when you're getting those picks, you get staggered, and the enemy gets staggered, and there's not, you can't come back from that. I'm sorry, that you just can't.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just also I think kind of comes down to the mode as well. Rainmaker is one where if you can't whip yourselves into position as quickly as possible, then you can of course be at risk of losing out some very big points. You have to be extraordinarily quick in some cases. I feel like in this particular mode a little bit less so, because those grates of course are going to be slowing you down, and that's why Kit Kat couldn't really push past the 45-43 mark there, because by the time they were getting into position to stop those pushes from happening, those grates, of course, they were going to be slowing you down. They're going to be putting you in a little bit of a disadvantage because, you can't swim through there. There aren't very many spots you can jump to either. And of course, anyone down underneath those grates could just shoot up at you and take you out of the game. However, they didn't stop Kit Kat from knowing exactly when to take it up there once Truck and Car were out of position as well. So, I do think that Kit Kat just being able to keep Truck and Car staggered, as you were saying, meant that by the time Kit Kat was in those positions to defend, Truck and Car couldn't really make any headway like they could in the first game. I have to say that first match we saw, Truck and Car, amazing special coordination. Both teams coordinated, I think, extremely well throughout all of these 3 matches that we saw. But yeah, let's have a look. We're having a look at the moment at the Day 1 Group A Round 5 to see how things are going as well.
Whoa.
The Slam Blitzers 2-1 against Shake Hole. I love that now. I just want to say the Slam Blitzers because I love that game. I love that name in particular.
Yeah, Sheer Cold, that's a rather, sort of established team. They've been around for over a year at this point? I don't know. They've got some names you might not think you know, but you do. And then what else we got here? Mammoth Meatball, that's not Marine Melody, but, at risk of getting flamed on Twitter, freaking, close enough. And what else we got? Whip Rays, that's a team you might have heard of. They get a win as well. How very nice.
Oh yeah, I recognize Whip Rays as well. Anyway, I do believe we'll be going to a break before round 6. We'll see you soon. Hello everyone and welcome back to Low Ink. I'm Lily Gravy Bread and I'm here with Riley. Riley's coming back shortly, but we are looking at the final match of day one between... Actually, who are the teams again? Let me take a look. Skilli Shoes. Wait, saying that out loud makes me realize the pun. And Starlight. Okay, Skilli Shoes and Starlight. Skill Issues and Starlight. I hope these aren't I hope we won't be seeing any skill issues on either of these teams. Actually, however, we will be going into this match very shortly. I believe just a few seconds now. We are seeing the on the side of skill issues: Skyan, Yushi, Dr. Spy, Jana, Fullbull, and Sphinx. On Starlight, Umbrium, Kotetra, Cookie, and Shen. Let's take a look at what weapons they're going to be bringing to the table in this final set.
Yes, and I'm here too.
Welcome back, Riley.
Yeah, sorry about that. Words. Big Swig Express coming out on the side of, the green guys over here. And also light tetras. That's not something you see every day.
This is very interesting. I love these kind of like off-the-wall picks from both these teams. It does look like those light tetras are going to be going down early, so Skill Issues is going to be taking up space quite early, and I have to say, with a weapon that paints as much as Big Swig Express, I think that's going to be pretty good for them in terms of being able to actually start moving ahead. It does look like, however, 3 players on Skill Issues have gone down here, so that's going to be Starlight hopefully getting that push ready. It does look like they already have their power clam at the ready. Looking to get some picks as well, trying to find one of that Big Swig, but that Big Swig is just going to be evading every single shot that's coming out on them.
Yes, for sure. And, but, you've got the 2 down on the side of Skill Issues, I believe that was. Or, no, that's... I don't know. But point is, Sphinx was doing a really good job of holding off that push, but you've got the Swig here all the way pushed up, someone else able to get another power climb in. Very good job. And the range does get 1 pick, but unfortunately that's a delayed 3 down. And now Starlight here going to be taking up mid-control very quickly.
Absolutely, but I don't think that they're going to be letting out these positions here, except these tri-strikes coming out are probably going to double tri-strikes. My goodness me, they are running a double tri-strike pump. They are going to be off the back of that, actually breaking that barrier, getting that power climb, and if they can just get some players out there, unfortunately they're being taken down by, was that Big Swig getting that pick there? Fantastic defensive play to stop any further climbs from going in, however.
I don't know for certain, but if so, that might be the first recorded Big Swig kill in history, so, kudos. But either way, it looks like Skill Issues right all the way up on here on the plat here. Are they able to dunk this in here? Yes, but the tri-strikes might just stop this push yet again. But Sphinx here does have Bazooka, but they are forced to back off. They do still have a very solid amount of mid-control here, but the Tetras here able to just barely scrape out the kill, and moving up to their plat now with the Zipcaster. Are they able to get any picks off of this? They do get the range, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting the range out is a pretty good move there, because, that's going to be a potential one-shot weapon that could shut down any push from happening. They're looking to get a lead on them, unfortunately being taken out as well. Shino trying to pick up that, save that power climb here and provide some jumps back in, hopefully, so that they don't lose too much ground. But the rest of the team is pretty far back, so it doesn't look like they're in any rush to actually make another push happen. With a player down on both sides, we are pretty much in neutral territory at the moment. We just need to make sure that we know who is going to be taking the next move forward. It doesn't look like with these strikes, they are trying to set something up with the back of that cooler as well, but Kazuka is potentially going to be stopped them out. Getting a fantastic pick, however, Cookie getting a great pick, and also those tri-strikes once again to cover those 3 players down. Things are looking pretty comfortable for them at this
You've got the jump in too.
Next push.
And yes, that's members of Starlight getting the jump in, able to get some more clams in, and getting a pretty comfortable lead here, but not before getting a wipeout. And at Skill Issues, Sphinx pushed all the way up, and if how they've been performing so far is any indication, they're bound to get at least 1 pick out of it, allowing time for their teammates to come up behind them, and the Zuka's coming out, able to bring down the Tetras, although, you know, I'm sure that wasn't too far off of their regular game plan here. Janna trying to get a pick here, not able to get much done, but they do open up the basket, able to bring that lead just slightly closer. Unfortunately, that does mean that Starlight now has more resources than they did before, but Janna able to get a nice pick to kind of seal the deal, and they're holding on to mid-control however possible. They're not giving up.
Yeah, I feel like they're not exactly having any skill issues here. Maybe some skilly issues, whatever the word skilly means. Skyan getting a great pick with the help on Kotetra here. It does look like we're seeing the Big Swig Express once again in that pretty aggro position, just allowing jumps in and also a nice amount of paint up. We're seeing Skyan here. Also, Fanatics position, just carrying those ledges where you want that range plus to be. But they are going to be caught out here, stuck in a bit of ink. Not being able to jump out either. We saw them nearly be able to jump out there, but you know, I feel like Starlight has had to play the defense pretty much most of this game, and we're nearly finished with it. Starlight, even though they have the lead here, they're just they're kind of just having to stop skill issues from being able to move in. They have lost a couple of players, and going to these last 5 seconds, we might actually be seeing something happen in overtime. They do manage to break the barrier. If they can get another one, they take lead in overtime. Skill issues, not really showing many skill issues, but definitely being able to get that push in overtime, we think was absolutely fantastic, especially the way they were able to hold Starlight back for so long. I felt that coming. I have to say, I felt that coming from skill issues there. I knew that, you know, Starlight is kind of on the back foot there, even when skill issues was able to kind of catch out some of those plays from so some of those plays, you know, when the other team was pushing. I feel like it was just a matter of time before skill issues was able to get that push happening once again.
All right, so here's the deal. What I was noticing is that skill issues, each player was doing very solid. It's just that for like almost the entire latter half of that game, they were 2 down. So I figured that once they were able to get into the advantage state, they were going to make something happen. And so they get the Zuka kill from like across the map, and then 2 other members are able to bring down someone else. And they just so happen to have the right resources at the moment to get lead back, and they did it rather swiftly. Like, we were hardly into overtime at all by the time it began. And I don't know. I just, like, also Skyend on the Range Blaster was doing a real good job of picking off opponents, especially in conjunction with the Swig's Ink Storm. I think that's kind of what they were cooking there, which, for the record, like, double shot range Big Swig is so funny. That is like 100%. That is 100% a comp that I would run. But who cares?
I love the combination of Big Swig and range because of the chip damage you can do with the Ink Storm. The fact that, like, on a map like Museum, even here on Manta Maria, you have fantastic spots you want to be camping those ledges with a range blaster as well. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with this, honestly.
Yeah, and TC Manta, probably, maybe my favorite map mode combination, but this ain't about me. It's about skill issues here getting put on the back foot almost immediately. Kotera switching to the Dark Tetra dualies. They've got the Reslider already at their disposal. We've got the Cooler up. Skyend here on the Range Blaster trying to chip everyone out, but Kotera's keeping them from doing that. The Zuka's coming out from Umbreon. Skyend able to avoid it just barely. That's still 2 down for skill issues. Are they having problems with this again? I can't quite tell. It's just the Slosher left alive, though, so they might be able to make something happen here relatively quickly.
Yeah, relatively quickly. I have to say, though, in terms of relative quickness, it does look like Starlight's actually running the only cooler weapon we're seeing in this match. So that could be an interesting matchup if they do manage to get that cooler out anytime soon. 2 players down on the side of skill issues. On the side of skill issues. Starlight might be getting a little bit of push continued at some point, but, you know, I still think that skill issues is not letting up. They're trying to push forward even throughout all of that disadvantage that they have here. But, you know, I do think that if Starlight, with the help of their cooler, is going to be hopefully holding them back just for long enough so they can get this push going even further. It's gonna take a little while, I think, before we see any bigger points happen.
Yeah, Skilli Shoes was all the way pushed up together. Oh, mid-jump kill, you'll love to see it. They were pushed all the way up onto the flat together, but Zuka wasn't able to get any picks out of it, and that's now a delayed wipe for Skilli Shoes. Kotetra. I was misreading that the whole time. It's literally in the name. Wow. And yeah, they were able to clean that up rather nicely. And they're able to expand that lead very quickly, and the Zuka's coming out too. Sphinx able to get... Oh, they got nailed by the Zuka on the pinch from Umbreon. Do they know they're there? Well, it doesn't matter because they jumped out.
Ouch, yeah, that was a nasty Zuka shot, but it does look like, however, we did see just only a couple more points go in the favor of Starlight here. Skilli Shoes is going to have to get a massive push going, but with the help of their big spig, hopefully they can clear out some of those areas with that Ink Storm as well. We're seeing that Starlight, I feel, is kind of being pushed back. Skyend here, just trying to find Umbreon, hopefully scope them out, but Umbreon's going to be returning to Zuka, still going down to Skyend.
Oh my lord!
And that wipeout as well. Kotetra just cleaning everything up once again. Kotetra pretty much the designated cleaner at this point, I feel. I hope they get paid well for that.
This is making me want to play Tetris again. For serious. Very impressive. But they're still keeping up the aggression here. The Zoo... it doesn't seem like get much out of it, and that's 2 down very briefly on the side of Starlight here. Kotetra able to get a nice trade as they just barely stay through the they can't quite get through the checkpoint, but they are not letting up on this offense. And so far the only special that Skilli Shoes is even close to is the Wave Breaker, and that's not going to get you but so far.
Oh yeah, pretty much the only player up is Sphinx here, being able to get that tower, hopefully having to provide some jumps in. We're seeing already how Starlight is trying to get into position just to keep an eye on any area that they might be moving back in to start this push, or to continue this push at least, as they have already started. They want to be able to get this lead in the last minute. I feel like this map mode is always a bit of a tug and war, and I feel like that's what we've been seeing at the moment. It just needs to be able to pull far enough to get that lead. They do manage to get it. There's 3 players down on either side. Once again, we're seeing an absolute bloodbath as Tower moves forward. We're seeing this aggressive Zuka shot, perhaps a little bit early, and pushed back once again, managing to duck behind cover here before they can reposition, help this Tower move forward. But, you know, they're losing out 3 players once again before they can even get a knockout. These last 30 seconds, I feel like this is going to be a massive uphill battle for Starlight at this moment.
Sphinx. Okay, so Cookie here on the heavy edit Splatling was going to stop that push, but Sphinx was in just the right spot, and Skilli Shoes was able to get lead by like 40 points. That's insane. It's 10 seconds left. We've got Azuka here at the ready, as well as the Ink Storm. That's a whole lot of stuff you have to try and survive. But unless they're able to get some clutch picks here, then I'm not too sure. Everyone's on tower. Forbull on the swig, able to drop down and get the pick, and that's Skilli Shoes going up 2-0.
2-0. I don't think there's any skill issues on their team, as I said before, but my goodness, that massive push all the way down to 19. Incredible. I gotta say, just being able to position just well enough to be able to continue that going forwards. But you know, for much of that game, I felt we were having a massive tug of war, pretty much, as I typically tend to see here in Manta Maria. Of course, there are other modes on Manta Maria where things can just snowball in the blink of an eye, like Rainmaker, for example. But here in Tower Control, where you've got that set path, that set rate as well, that set speed that the tower moves, once you can like maneuver your team around that to defend, then of course you'll be seeing those fights go down like we saw on both teams. You know, the number of times we saw 3 players down, wipeouts, etc. You mentioned earlier on in the stream that you wish we could see the result screens, the end screens, so we can see the KBs and stuff. I want to see how many deaths there were in that game.
Okay, for one, yeah, that's a very solid point. But also, looking at this, I'm realizing now, it's not Sphinx, it's Phnix. It's how it's spelled in
Oh.
game. So I'm very sorry to you as well, but very well played. Definitely a strong Slayer gameplay coming out there. But yeah, Skilli Shoes. If you don't remember, this team won beta bracket 2 months ago against Ominous, who's now banned. Last month, they made alpha bracket, but unfortunately got knocked out round 1. So I think they've definitely been cooking. Like, they want to, they're really trying to make a statement here. And, I think winning with Swig is enough of a statement on its own, but, dang. So let's see if they switch it up on Zone's Hagglefish.
Yeah, I mean, it's zones. You kind of want to have massive paint output, don't you? So I don't see them moving away from Big Swig Express anytime soon. And of course, Inkstorm for a hallway map like this one is going to be a fantastic displacement special as well. Does look like, however, there we go, there's the Big Swig. But we are seeing a pencil come out on the other side. They're not going to be moving off those Tetras, however. But, at least...
Yeah, and
at least they're sticking to the cooler.
I think this is the first pencil we've seen all, of our commentary block. That's kind of crazy. That just kind of shows you what you can afford to get away with in low level. But oh my goodness, Skilli Shoes are down 2-0 right off the bat. I mean, they do get zoned, but still. Is Jana able to get anything off of the Zuka? Somehow no. I really thought they were about to get a triple there or something.
Yeah, it looks like, however, the other team managed to collapse around Jana, but Bull here is going to be looking for a bit of an interesting flank here. Being noticed by Slosher, unfortunately going down to them. That's not the matchup you really want to be in, having to back out like that and going down as well. But Starlight is going to be continuing their lead all the way down into the 60s here and getting into some pretty frontline positions before losing a couple of players. That's not going to be them losing the zone. However, Shinwa having to jump out just to make sure that they can be with their team to prevent a push happening from Skilli Shoes. We're seeing the Inkstorm as well. This is what I'm talking about regarding nice displacement special. Already, Starlight has been able to kind of evade that and kind of move back in and catch the zone as well. So they're not too concerned about it, I think. Fantastic double from them as well, just to be able to hold the zone even further forward. And I gotta say, continuing on with the Dark Tetris, I think is a pretty nice move for them, considering once you do get that Reef Slider off in that fight, you can do some pretty silly things with it, I think. But Skyen getting a pick on Tetra already. Hopefully they'll use this Inkstorm to be able to move in and cap the zone for themselves.
Yeah, shout out to Umbreon for that double, and shout out to Skyend for that impressive range bastard play. Now it's Skilli Shoes in control of zone, and you've only got so much on the side of Starlight to, combat it. You've got the cooler coming up here, but, the pencil's the furthest up here, and it seems like the Tetra's going in alone. And it's only 20 points or so until Skilli Shoes gets their lead back, and they've got the Zuka and Wavebreaker to combat it. And that Skilli Shoes getting a huge pick on the pencil with the Zuka here. And they're able to cancel the Reef Slider on top of it.
Oh yeah, that was like a one frame in one frame. You almost saw that Reef Slider come out. It's like, oh, there's the Reef Slider, she's the zone. But nope, they were able to cancel that so quickly. And another takedown on Umbreon there. Things are looking pretty good for them. Zuka pick as well. Everything is just going swimmingly. But as we were talking about, Reef Slider, they are going to be teasing that zone, applying good penalties before the knockout can happen. But 3 plays going down on the side of Skilli Shoes. Starlight is looking to make a comeback here now.
Very true, and Umbreon in a pretty solid position with that Zuka. Not able to get any picks out of it, but the pressure is on, and they need to get a friend and get moving up because they are out of their penalty, and lead is not that far off. That's 2 down on the side of Skilli Shoes as well. Jana in a solid spot as well with the Zuka here to try and combat this, but they will get swarmed very quickly. That's 2 down on the side of Skilli Shoes, and that's going to be lead. That's 3 down. And a delayed wipe on top of it. That's Starlight taking it. My goodness, that was... I thought Skilli Shoes was going to come through with the sweep, but Starlight responded in a big way, able to just get one delayed wipe on top of another. Definitely very well played there.
Yeah, that was such a solid end to the set for Starlight, actually. Even though Skill Issues managed to win this 2-1 against Starlight, having that game taken off Skill Issues like that is pretty impressive. And I have to say, the way they were able to keep those numbers down in the last minute of the game on the side of Skill Issues as well, I think just confirmed that Starlight was constantly not just keeping the pressure up from the Zuka, etc., and everything that they were running, but also just to be able to make sure that skill issues are pretty much staggered throughout the end of that. And fantastic job to both teams. Skill issues will be taking that set, however, but Starlight, fantastic, strong team as well. And you mentioned I think it was Skill Issues that were able to beat Ominous, now a banned team. The previous one? Yes,
that was 2 months ago.
2 months ago. So you know what, Starlight might be able to take something off of Skill Issues in the next low ink. We'll have to see, however.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how this would have gone had it been a best of 5 set. I mean, then where would we be?
Yeah, well, all the best of 5 sets are going to be happening tomorrow. However, on day 2 of low ink, we'll be seeing who's going to be winning, who's going to be making it into alpha bracket, etc. But day 1 I always feel is a bit of an endurance test, playing for over 3 hours across 18 matches, something like that. Absolutely massive tournament low ink is. I think we have 144 teams signed up this month. So just the size of it alone is pretty daunting, and whoever's going to be coming out on top next month, of course, is going to not next month, tomorrow rather, is of course going to be banned from low ink going forwards. The pop gun will open the pearly white gates of mid level to them, so to speak. And I do believe.
If you do well enough in Don't Win, you might still get banned. I mean, that's entirely a possibility in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's always fun, like seeing people on Twitter just posting their DMs from Popgun saying, "Nope, you've been banned from low ink. Congratulations." And it's a funny thing, getting banned from low ink. It's one of the biggest things low level strives for, because once you have been banned from there, the only way forward is mid level hell and up, pretty much. So this is pretty much the biggest thing I feel low level has, and being able to be part of it, of course, is always great fun, especially commentating it. We get to see some pretty wacky picks, some wacky plays, some wacky weapon comps. Seeing a Big Swig come out, winning that last set as well from the side of Skill Issues, that's something I love to see. Personally, seeing some nice Tetra plays as well, I think is not something I've been seeing a lot in competitive recently, so always nice to see some of these off the wall picks these days as well, considering the meta is such a thing with pencil. Nice to see a little bit of lack of pencil as well. Anyway,
depending on how tomorrow goes, like, I didn't really shout them out by name, but I think depending on how tomorrow goes, you could reasonably say that for Buell, or however you'd say that, I'm very sorry, is like the best Swig player in the world, at least for like one day. So, very well played. Looking over these kind of little results, it's kind of hard to tell exactly who will be in alpha bracket, but if you're more tuned into low level, you'll generally have an idea of who's getting in. But regardless, yes, that is the end of day 1 here, more or less. So, where might the people be able to find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Lily Gravy Bread. I stream from time to time. Sometimes I TO something for Dapple Productions. Sometimes I commentate for various tournaments and events as well. But yeah, I put stuff up on the internet every now and then, either streaming or twittering on the Twitter. And Riley, where can the good people in chat find you?
Well, you can't. No, I'm just kidding. You could find me on Twitter at Buff Splashdown. No special characters or anything. I need to change that at. That's not good anymore. No. But regardless, you can find me there if you'd like, and you can also see me commentating roughly once a year. Yeah. I will be going to LTC though, if anyone wants to say hi. But yeah, that's not for like 2 months, so who knows? Who cares? I'm somewheres.
Anyway, that'll be it from us. Stick around for the raid, and also stick around for day 2, where we've got some very exciting matches and commentators up for you as well. But until next time, happy Easter, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.